Good evening, family. Welcome to my live, the one and only Underrated Darkness. Support my channel. Let's get them likes and them views up on my past live stream and videos. Share this. Also very much appreciated. Hold on, fam. Hold on. Let me get this out the way. There you go. Support this, all right? Also, share this like I said. If you want to know more about me, yours truly, Jerry Thomas, Facebook group, Facebook page. Also, I have my own Facebook group, all in caps, JT, MVP, Thinking for Ourselves, all in caps. Also, I have a Twitter account, also in caps, at JT Blackman44. Instagram account, same as the same name as this channel, but difference is lower caps. All right. I be doing music, boxing. Also, I have my own underrated sports show every Monday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Again, every Monday, the underrated sports show. When my brother she stays asleep, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. All right. This is a special live tonight because I'm gonna read about the late Jolson. It's gonna be panel participation. So I'm looking for sisters and brothers to participate. This gonna be a serious discussion tonight, and I'm gonna break it down. Why it's so important to know this person and other ones. So I'm gonna wait for some more people to fill in. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get this out the way. Hold on. So, and I'm just letting you know right now. What I'm getting ready to say, when I get ready to read, and we're gonna break it down. When I get the people on the panel, it's gonna be things gonna be offensive, but it's the truth. And if you can't take it, by all means, you can leave. I don't have no problems with that. This gonna be the truth tonight. And again, my doom shotters, I'm talking about my mods. Anybody that's disrespect the platform, get them out. Get them out. Trolls, definitely get them out. So we're gonna wait for some more people to get to come in. Let's get them lights up, please. Thank you. Good looking out, Loso. This is gonna be a serious live tonight. Gab Talk Media just did a powerful live stream. Why don't y'all go check it out? Gab Talk Media. Salute to you, brother. Keep on growing. You in the piece. Keep on growing. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. It's all about standing up to the truth. Man or woman. Thank you very much. Always a lady. Thanks for supporting me. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go to the channel right now, and I'm gonna look out for you. Now you got one right here. I got you. That's how the darkness do. You look out for me, I look out for you. I got you. Appreciate that, always a lady. Appreciate that. Waiting for some more people to get in. Oh yeah, we talking about the late Al Jolson. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And after that, I'm gonna pick my panel. It's gonna be a mix up of brothers and sisters. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people don't know about this person, but I'm gonna bring it up. I've been know about this person. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm not saying that none of y'all don't know because I thank you, Highwayman. Oh, hold on. Thank you, Highwayman. Appreciate that. Thanks for supporting me. Very much appreciate. I support back. Yeah, we're going in tonight. We're gonna talk about this person. And so when I finish the story, y'all, I'm gonna pick the panel. So just waiting for some more people to get in because I don't want to read. I'm not because when I'm talking about this story, I'm not gonna start reading. So I'm trying to get much people as I can. I'm glad everybody come in tonight. I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Gab told me to have people to come to the panel. I mean, come to the chat. Gab told me, and also my brother, the truth, better known as Loso. I want to thank you so much to have people come to the chat. I appreciate that for your brothers. At time, after such a time, thanks for coming, sister. The Queen, thank you. Poetic Kells, thanks for coming. Lockhead, Lockhead. Thanks for coming, sister. I miss your presence. I really miss your presence. Stay tuned. I hope you stay on duration because I might call you, get on the panel. Come on, let's get them lights up, y'all. Let's get them lights up. Let's get them lights up, family. Because I'm bringing the truth tonight. This is the person that Holly, nobody don't know. I ain't gonna say Holly. Some of y'all definitely would know. Trust me. And this got to be said tonight because I'm gonna connect what's going on, what I'm talking about this person tonight, and even on a panel that is gonna go in a coalition about what I said last night. Oh yes. Oh yes, like I said before. If anybody is gonna be offended, you can leave. But I'm bringing the truth tonight. Yeah, King Diesel. I see you. Trust and believe, brother. I see you. But I'm going to get to you. Trust and believe. I'm going to get to you. Believe that. Let's get them lights up. Let's get them lights up. Oh, yeah, King Diesel. I see you. Believe that. Yeah. Nah. Word up. Yeah. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready because you know what you did. All right. But that's all right. I get you. I get you. Because what you did is wrong. All right. But don't worry about it. My mom's got my eyes on you. Doomshot got my eyes on you. Believe that. But get back what I'm saying, family. Whatever, man. Whatever. Well, like I say, whatever. Because you know you're lying. All right. But anyway, let me see. Oh, right. There you go. Now, we're going to talk about this person, Al Jolson. This person is one of the few people back in the 20s, 30s, and the 40s. These one of the ones. These a few white actors and actresses had paid they had paid their face to make fun of us and also play our music. Um, they be in movies and stuff, and it was very derogatory, you know. And so Now that's exactly King Diesel. I'm coming in peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get back to yo. See, this is what I'm saying, bro. If you a man, stand up and talk to me as a man. Don't make those situations that's something that I know I didn't do. You hear what I'm saying? I always look out for our sisters. I've never tried to step on anybody told, but what you did in somebody else's chat, that was very doggone disrespectful. And you know what I'm saying? I'm coming to people, but I will deal with you in peace. I will deal with you. I'm just letting you know, as the man to man, I don't roll like that. You're not gonna punk me out like that. I'm just letting you know right now, as a man to man, King Diesel. I don't roll like that. And that's part of the brotherhood too. If we call as brothers, you should hit me up and ask. Stop making insinuations and everything, because I ain't no punk. I ain't something that you could step on me. No, you're not treating me like that. Latasha Moore, good evening. You finally came. Thanks for coming, Latasha Moore. You probably gonna come. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming, Nikki. My copper tone, woolly hair, beautiful. But get back, what I'm saying is that these are the people have made fun of us, but the way how they portray this, they gonna put, oh, they did this and that. But like I said, the panel that I'm gonna pick, and we're gonna dissect that, and we're gonna get down to the really nitty gritty. So I think it's enough people coming here. Here we go. Al Jolson, better known as Asa Jolson. He's Jewish, now known as Syria's near Kaunas in Lithuania, part of the Russian Empire. He was the fifth and the youngest child of Moses Reuben Jolson, 1858 to December 23rd, 1945. And Nedarim Naum Kantiket Kater, 1858, February 6, 1895. His four siblings was Rosa, 1879, 1939, Etta, 1880 to 1940, another sister who died in infancy, and Hirsch Henry, 1882 to 1953. Jolson did not know his date of birth. Both records was kept in that line, that religion, and gave birth as 1885. In 1891, his father who was qualified as a rabbi and cantor, moved to New York City to secure a better future for his family. In 1894, Moses Jolson could afford to pay the fare to bring Nashim and their four children to the U.S. by the time they arrived. By still-age passengers on the SS Abra arrived at the port of New York on April 1894. He had found work as a cantor at Tyrone Congregation in Southwest Waterfront neighborhood, Washington, D.C., where the family was reunited. Hard times hit the family when the mother, Naomi, died at 37 in 1895. Following his mother's death, young Asa was in a state of withdrawal for 7 months. For a period of time, young Asa spent time at St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys, a progressive reform home for orphans by the Xavier Brother in Baltimore, the same school which later be attended by Babe Ruth. Upon being introduced to showbiz in 1895 by entertainer Al Reeves, Asa and Hirsch became fascinated by the industry, and by 1897, the brothers were singing for the coins of local street corner using the name Al and Harry. They would usually use the money to buy ticket shows at the National Theater. Asa and Hirsch spent most of their days working different jobs as a team. Stage performance. In the spring of 1982, he accepted a job at Walter A. Main Circus. Although Main had hired Jolson as an usher, Main was impressed by Jolson's singing voice and gave him a position as singer during the circus Indian medicine side show segment. By the end of the year, the circus has folded and Jolson was again out of work. In May 1903, head producer of the Berkshires show, Dante Duchess Berkshires, agreed giving Jolson a part of one show. Asa gave a remarkable performance of My Baby Bumblebee at the producer agreed to keep him for future shows. Unfortunately, the show closed by the end of the year. Asa was able let me see, all right, but it agreed in future. Unfortunately, the shows closed by the end of the year. Asa was able to avoid financial troubles by forming Vodiva, Vodivola partnership with his brother Hirsch, now vaudeville performed known as Harry Jolson. The brothers worked for William Morris Agency. Asa and Harry soon formed a team with Joe Palmer. During their time with Palmer, they were able to gain bookings in the nationwide tour. However, live performance was failing and popular as ticket holders captured audience by 1908. Nickelodeon theaters was dominated throughout New York City as well. While performing in a Brooklyn theater in 1994, I decided a new approach and began performing blackface. That's what we're going to talk about later on, which boosted his career. He began wearing blackface in all of his shows. In late 1905, Harry left the trio following an argument with Al Harry. Harry refused Al's request to take care of Joe Palmer, he was in a wheelchair when he was dating. After Harry's departure, Al and Joe Palmer worked as a duo, were not particularly successful. In 1906, the two agreed to separate. Jolson was on his own. Jolson became regular at the Global and Wigwam Theater in San Francisco, California, and remained successful nationwide as a vaudeville singer. He took up residence in San Francisco, saying the earthquake devastating people need someone to cheer them. In 1908, Jolson needed money for himself and his new wife Henrietta returned to New York. In 1905, Al Singh caught the attention of Lou Dockestader, producer and star of the Dockestader Mistress. Al accepted Dockestader's offer to become a regular blackface performer. Uh-huh. Hold on. Hold on, fam. Hold on. I got messed up. So far, this person. Mhm. Okay. According to Esquire magazine, J.J. Stuber, impressed by Jolson's overwhelming display of energy, booked him the La Belle Parade, a musical comedy that opened at the Winter Garden of in 1911. Within a month, Jolson was a star from until 1926 when he retired from the stage. He could boast an unbroken series of smash hits. And on March 20th, 1911, Jolson starred in his first musical review in the Winter Garden Theater in New York City. La Belle Parade greatly helped to launch his career as a singer. The open night drew a huge crowd to the theater, and that evening Jolson gained audience population in singing old Stephen Foster songs in blackface. In the wake of that opening, Jolson was given a position in show cast. The show closed after 104 performance. Due to Ron Jolson, popularity grew greatly. Following the band parody, he accepted an offer to perform in the music Very Violent. The show opened November 20, 1911, and like La Belle Parade, was a phenomenal success. In the show, Johnson again sang the Black Fire and managed to become popular. That his weekly salary is 500 based on his success in La Belle Parade was increased to $750. That was big that time in those days. At the Very Violent Randy's course, Jolson starred another musical, the World of Society, prepared his career on Broadway to new heights. During his time at the Winter Garden, Jolson would tell the audience, "You ain't heard nothing yet." Began performing additional songs in the play. Jolson debuted his signature blackface character Gus. The play was so successful that Winter Garden owner Lee Suburb agreed to sign Jolson to a 7-year contract with a salary of $1,000 a week. Jolson will reprise role to Gus in future play in by 1940 achieved much popularity with the theater audience that his $1,000 a week salary was doubled to $2,000 a week. In 1916, Robinson Crusoe Jr. was the first musical in which he was featured as a star character. In 1918, Jolson's acting career was pushed even further after he started his musical Sinbad. It became the most successful Broadway musical of 1918 and 1919. A new song was later added to the show that would become composed by George Gershwin. First hit records Swanee. Jolson also added another song, My Mammy, to the show. By 1920, Jolson had become a big star on Broadway. His next play, Bondo, was also taking his career to new heights. It became so successful that they went beyond Broadway and had performance nationwide. It also led Lee Schumer to rename his newly built theater, which was actress from Central Park, as Jolson 59th Street Theater. Age 35, Jolson became the youngest man in the regular history to have a theater named after him. Wow. But on the opening night of a Barn Bowl, the first performance at the new theater, he suffered extreme stage fright, walking up and down the streets for hours before showtime. Out of fear, he lost his voice backstage and begged for the stagehand not to raise the curtain. But where the curtains went up, he was still standing in the wings, trembling and sweating. After being physically shown onto the stage by his brother Harry, he left performing and received an ovation that would never forget. For several minutes, the applause continued while Al stood and bowed after the first act. He refused to go back on stage for the second act, but the audience just stamped his feet and chanted, Jolson, Jolson, until he came back out. He took 37 curtain calls that night and told the audience, I'm happy man tonight. In March 1922, he moved the production to a larger Century Theater special benefit performed to aid injured Jewish veterans of World War I. After taking the show on the road for a season, he returned After taking the show on the road for a season, he returned in May 1923 to perform Bornbo at his first love, the Winter Garden. The review for the New York Times wrote, he returned like the circus, bigger and brighter, newer than ever. Last night audience was frankly unwilling to go home. And when the show prepared was over, Jolson reappeared before the curtain and sang more songs, old and new. I don't mind going on record saying that he's one of the few instinctive funny men on our stage, wrote reviewing Charles Denton in the New York Evening World. They got some goddamn nerve. Everything he touched turned to fun. To watch him as a marvel of his humorous vitality, he is an old time mistress man turning to model account with the song on word or even suggest he call spontaneously laugh. And here you have a definition of a born comedian. Perform in black face. Jolson performed exclusively blackface until 1931, performing blackface makeup in theater convention of, of many entertainments at the beginning of the 20th century, having his origin of the minstrel show, according to film historian Edlot. For the white mistress man to put on the cultural forms of blackness was engaged of a complex affair of many mistresses to where even enjoy blackface was literally. For a time it become black to inherit the cool, virtue, humiliation, abandon, or get it the car was the prime components of white ideologies of black manhood. In the respect of the view of latter letters, however, the use of blackface has come to view as implement racism. Music critic Ted Goya commented on Joseph's use of black vote. Blackface invokes memories of most unpleasant side of racial relations of an age of white entertainment use makeup to ridicule black Americans' rise, readily borrowed from the rich black musical traditions that would rarely allow direct expression in mainstream society. This is a heavy baggage for Al Jolson, a metaphor of mutual suffering. Historians describe Jolson's blackface singing style metaphors for Jewish and black suffering throughout history. Right. Jolson first film, The Jazz Singer, for instance, described by historian Michael Alexander as expression of liturgical music of Jews with the imagined music of African Americans. Nothing that prayed and jazz become metaphors for Jews and blacks. Playwright Samson Raphaelson, after seeing Jolson perform his stage show, Robinson Crusoe states that he had an epiphany. My God, isn't my God, this isn't jazz singing, he said. This is a canto. The image of a black-faced character remains a rapper's in mind when he could see the story which led to Jazz Singer. Upon the film release, the first full-length sound picture film review saw the symbolic of metaphor portrayed by Joseph and his role of the son, Cantor wearing it to become a black singer. Is there any incongruity in this Jewish boy with his face painted like Southern Negro singing a Negro dialect? No, there is not. Indeed, I detect again and again the minor key of Jewish music was waved by Chazan, the cry of anguish of people who had suffered. The son of the line of rabbis were well known how to sing songs most cruelly wrongly people of the world of history. Right. According to Alexander, Eastern European Jews were unequivocally qualified to understand the music. Nothing how Joseph himself made a comparison of Jews and African American suffering in the New Land in his film Big Boy in the black face portrayed by former slave. He leads a group of recent free slaves played by black actors in verse of the classic slave ritual Go Down Moses. One review of the film expressed how Joseph blackface added significance to his role. When one hears Jolson jazz singing, one realizes that jazz is a new prayer of American masses and our Jolson, their cantor. A Negro makeup in which he expressed his mystery is it appropriate tale. Praise Shaw for such a communal leader. Many of the black community welcomed the jazz singer and saw his vehicle to gain success in the stage. Audience of Harlem Lafayette Theater cried during the film. The Harlem newspapers and Amsterdam News called it one of the greatest pictures ever produced. For Jolson, he wrote, "Every color performed is proud of him." Wow. Relations with African Americans. Jolson's legacy as the most popular performance of blackface routines was complemented by his relationship with African Americans and his appreciation and use of African American culture and trends. But I want to stop there. I'm going to continue. At that time, it was hardly no work for us as actors and actresses. And there's a lot of them had to play unbeneath roles just to make ends meet. And I had to stop here, family, because we have to understand here that that's all we had back then. And it was another nationality was actually made fun of us, and it actually making money to this day. I just want to put that in, and then that's what I'm saying. A few minutes after I finish, though, I'm gonna draw up and we'll get the panel going. So stay tuned with that. Jolson first here, jazz, blues, and ragtime as the islands of New Orleans, Louisiana. That's what jazz and also blues came from, one of the places. He enjoyed singing the new jazz style of music, often performing blackface, especially the songs he made popular, such as Swanee, My Mammy, and Rockabye Baby with a Dixie melody. As a Jewish immigrant and American, most famous as highest paid entertainer, he may have the center resource to help break down racial attitudes. For instance, Ku Klux Klan, for his peak in the early 1920s, was estimated to include 50% of the nation eligible to vote, pop up 4 to 5 million men, thought probably much smaller. While the birth of the nation glorified white supremacy and the KKK, Jolson chose to be a star of the jazz singer, which defined radical bigotry by introducing black music to audience worldwide. While growing up, Jolson had many black friends, including Billy Bojangles Robinson, who became a prominent tap dancer in early 1911. At the age 25, Jolson was noted for fighting discrimination on Broadway and later in his movies. At the time when black people was banned from starring the Broadway stage, he promptly played for black playwright Garland Anderson, which became the first production with the all-black cast production of Broadway. He brought an all-black dance team from San Francisco and tried to feature in his Broadway shows. He demanded equal treatment for Cad Calloway, whom he performed a number of duets for his movie The Singing Kid. He was the only white man allowed to enter a all-black nightclub in Harlem. Jolson once read in the newspaper that songwriters Irving Blake and Noble Cece, neither of whom he had ever heard, were refused to service at a Connecticut restaurant because of their race. He immediately tracked them down and took them out to dinner. Insisted that he punch anyone in the nose that kicked him out. According to biography, I. Rosen, Jolson and Blake became friends. They didn't have anything to do with the theater because they never worked together. Rather, they both had love prize fighters and used to go boxing matches together, engaged jocose discussions at the relate merit of the Negro and Jewish cultures. They were constantly wagered as a bottle of whiskey and bouts. Film historian Charles Music noted that African American embrace of Jolson was not his spontaneous reaction to his appearance of taking films, but an era when African Americans did not have to go look for enemy. Jolson was perceived a friend. Jenny
Lagar, a black female tap dancer, stars. She recalled life as a film dancer, but of course, those times it was black and white world. You didn't associate too much socially with any of the stars. You saw them at the studios, nights where they did not invite. The only ones ever invite us home for a visit was Al Jolson and Ruby Keeler. British performer Brian Carley and the stars of the British play Dawson states that in an interview, I found that Jolson was a hero of the black people of America at his funeral. Black actors line this way. They really appreciate what he done for them. Nosy Sissa was the president of the Negro Actor Guide represents the organization at his funeral. Joseph physical and expressive also affect the music styles of some black performers. Historical Barbara Goulet Wright, mostly queer influence was Jackie Wilson, the young like was Al Jolson. He pointed that Wilson ideas what was a stage performer that could be go deep in the acid side and thriller performance was shaped by Jolson's acts. Full of wild writing dissected theatrics, Wilson felt that Jolson should be considered stylist, forefathers of rock and roll. I tell you, Little Richard would have something to say about that. According to St. James Encyclopedia of Popular Culture, almost single-handedly, Charles Jolson helped to introduce African American music to innovate like jazz, ringtime, and blues to white audience by paving the way African Americans like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Fats Dominic, Ethel Waters. I don't believe that. No, 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 no. They made their own way to bridge cultural gap between black and white America. Jazz historian Amarai Bracken wrote, the interest of a white man into jazz did at least bring him much closer to the Negro. He pointed that the acceptance of jazz by white marks a crucial moment. Aspects of black culture had become a central part of American culture. Movies, it says the jazz singer. Before the jazz singer, Joseph started by taking the film A Plantation Act. This stimulate a stage performance. Jolson was present in a program musical shorts demonstrating baritone sound film process. The soundtrack for A Plantation Act was considered lost by 1993, was found in 1995 to restore by the Viacom Project. The film was inducted the Warner 80th anniversary release of The Jazz Singer on DVD. Warner Brothers picked George Jessup for the role as he had started Broadway when the Sun wanted to decide the jazz singer as the music at the Viacom. He knew that Jolson was a star he told Jessup that it would have to sing the movie Justin Balk, allowing Warner to replace him with Jolson. Jesse never got over it and often said that Warner gave the role to Jolson because he agreed to help finance the film. Um, Harry Harry Warner's daughter Doris remembered the open night that and said that when the picture was started, was still crying over the loss of her beloved Uncle Sam. He planned to be at the performance and died suddenly at the age of 40, the day before. But halfway through 89-minute movie, she began to be overtaken by a sense of something remarkable that happened to Jolson. By wait a minute, line provoking shouts by pleasure and applause for the audience and were dumbfounded by hearing speaking on a film for the first time. So much that double standard was missed at first. By each Jolson saying the audience applauded, excitement mounted as the film progressed. When Jolson began to sing by Eugene Bassett, the audience became hysterical. According to his film historian Scott Eamon, by the film end, the Warner Brothers had shown audience something they had never known, moved them by in a way they hadn't expected. The turbulent ovation of curtain provoked that Jolson was not merely the right man for the part of Jackie Rabinowitz, alias Jackie Robin. He was the right man for the entire transition for silent fantasy talking realists. The audience transformed into the one critical, mild and mildred battered mob stood stamped and cheered Johnson, Johnson, Johnson. At the end of the film, Jolson rose from his seat and ran down to the stage. God, I think you really on the level about it. I feel good, he cried. Audience. Stanley Watkins would always remember Jolson signing autographs after the show, and tears steaming down his face. Mary, Mary away. Jolson co-star remember the police was there to control the crowd. It was a big thing, like the birth of the nation. The film was produced by Warner Brothers using the Veritone sound possessed. Veritone was originally intended musical rekindles of the jazz singer following the principle. With the only musical sequence used in live sounds recording. The moviegoers was electrifying when the sound actually was interrupted periodically for a song sequence of real singing and sound, mannerisms and charisma held audience spellbound. Costa Wade McGarry, according to author A. Scott Berg, could not help sneaking into theaters day after the film was being run. She pinned herself against the wall in the dark and watched the face of the crowd. At the moment just before Tutu Tussie, she remembered, America could. Moving pictures really came alive to see the expression of their face when Jolie spoke to them. You had thought they were listening to the voice of God. Everybody was mad at the talkies, said movie star Gregory Peck in the Newsweek interview. I remember jazz singer when Al Jolson just burst into song. I'm sorry, I mean, and there was a little bit of dialogue. And when he came to Mammy and went down to his knees to Mammy, it was just dynamic. This opinion shared by most of them. This moment of informal pattern of this piano is the most exciting, vital part of the entire movie. When Jolson acquired a voice, warm and excitement and vibration of it, the way of rambling, spontaneous, laid, bad to imagine the mind that makes up the sound, and the vibraphone voice reveals particular qualities of Al Jolson that made him a star, not only the eyes of a window of a soul. And they showed the picture Al Jolson in the heart of New York. That is very, very disturbing. Okay, the singing fool, 1928. When Warner Brothers Al Jolson made his first all-tall picture, The Singing Fool, in 1928, the story of ambitious entertainer was instead of going with the show, dying on the film most popular jazz singer theater was equipped with sound. The Singing Fools of the box attendance of 11 was broken by Going in the Wind. Sonny Boy from the film was the first American record to sell 1 million copies. Jolson continued to make features for Warner Bros. Similar as styles. The Singing Fools, and with these include Say It with Songs 1929, Miami 1930, and Big Boy 1930 to restore a version of Miami with Jolson in Telecolor sequence was first screened in 2002. Jolson's first Technicolor appearance was a cameo of musical Showgirls in Hollywood, 1930, from First National Picture on Warner Brothers subsidiary. However, these films gradually proven a cycle of diminishing return due the comparative seamless, regardless salaries that Jolson demand a shift in public taste away from vaudeville musical. As 1930 began, Jolson returned Broadway and starred unsuccessful Wonderbar. Hallelujah, I'm a bum. Hallelujah, I'm a tramp. Despite these new troubles, Jolson was able to make a comeback after performing a concert in New Orleans at the Water Bar closed in 1931. Warner allowed him to make one film doing it with United Artists, Hallelujah, I'm a Bum. In 1933, the film had to be retitled Hallelujah, I'm a Tramp in the UK and other English-speaking countries where bum means bottom and where silent words for fragrant is tramp rather than bum. It was directed by Louis Milestone and written by songwriter Ben Hetcher. Hetcher was always active in the promote of civil rights as their first story features black characters, including Hallelujah, I'm a Bum, co-starring Edgar Connor as Johnson's sidekick in a political savvy rhyme dialogue over Richard Rogers' musical. A direct response to the Great Depression contains many of his va- vagabond friends equivalent to their more to life than money, and the best things are free. New York Times revealed the picture had the picture some persons made to be glad to hear. It had no mammy songs. It was Mr. Johnson's best film as well it might be for the clever direct Louis Milestone God Destiny, a combination of fun melody and romance with a dash of sanity. Another review add a film welcome back, especially for what tries to do the progress of American music. Okay, we're gonna skip it. 1934, won the ball. He played the singing kid. We'll skip through that. So, let's see. Rose to Washington Square. That's 1939. Technicolor, the Jolson story. Yankee Doodle Dandy, 1942. Let's see, 1932. Danger Show, I'm gonna get to Jolson Sings again, 1940, 49. Radio show. Jolson had been popular guest stars on radio stations since the early days, including the NBC, the Dawes, Victory Hour, January 1928, doing New Orleans Hotel, the audience, 1935, 1947. The stuff he owns, 1930 show including President Al Jolson. 1932, Shell Chatting. 1935 was one of the hosts of Crab Music Hall. From 1947 1949, Oscar Levant, a psychotic or pianist playing sidekick. Al Jolson 1940 career revived nothing short of successful despite completion of younger performers just as being Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and he was voted the most popular male vocalist in 1948 by Poet of Vanity. That was white-owned music magazine. The next year, Jolson was named personally of the year by the various clubs in America. Jolson appeared being Cosby radio shows. He had to receive by receiving awards by being the only singer of any importance not making a record of Mule Train. Okay, you won't skip all that. He did some television work, Los Angeles, 1949. Promote R. Jolson Sings Again. How character wrote that. World War One. Let me see. World dedicates. He saying the World War One. 1942 interview, when the war started, he felt that it was up to me to do something, that then do the show business. He was around during the last war, and I saw the boys need some besides from child and drills. Shortly the war, he wrote for a letter to Stephen, earlier press secretary to President Frank D. Roosevelt, volunteered the head committee for entertainment soldiers. They work without pay, and they're so funny. And when I get to that, I'll talk about Joe Louis in a few minutes. How we connect the dots. Okay, trying. You gotta say a lot, so I'm trying to skip. I'm just saying the things. He also plus he was at the Korean War. You know, he said the Korean War. That's like in the 50s. Um, and he did some shows too. All right. Just 10 days after he returned from Korea, he agreed to IKO Pictures producer Jay Ward and Norman Chrisa to star in new movie stars Spice Forever about a U.S. troop in the South Pacific during World War II. The screenplay was written by Herbert Baker and co-star Diana Shaw. A young Diana Shaw that later on went on to have her own show that almost 25 years. Jolson, however, greatly overtakes himself performing in Korea, especially a man who missed a lung for only 2 weeks after singing Agreement. He died of a heart attack essentially a few months after his death. Defense Secretary George Marshall presented a Medal of Merit for Jolson, who his country owes a debt that cannot be paid. Let's hit this. Jolson was a Republican who supported Warren G. Harding in 1920. Calvin Coolidge, 1924 for president, as one of the biggest stars of his time. He worked for His Magic singing Harlan, You the Man for Us, and saw audience. He was subsequently asked before keep cool with the Coolidge. 4 years later, Jolson, like the man who ran the studios, was a real showbiz Republican. Jolson publicly campaigned for Democrat Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1932. By the next presidential election in 1936, he was back supporting Republican Alpha Landon that would not support another Democrat for president during his married life. His first marriage was Henrietta Keller, 1889. She passed away in 1937. Passed away in 1967. Took place in Alameda, California, on September 20, 1907. His name was given to Albert Jolson. They divorced in 1918. Etta Tamar in 1925. In 1920, Jolson began a relationship with Broadway actress Anna Osborne, lonely provided as Etta Dama. The two was married in August 1922. She divorced Jolson in 1928. Ruby Kettler in the summer of 1928. Jolson met young tap dancer and later Ruby Kettler in Los Angeles. Jolson would claim that as Texas Goonie nightclub was Dad's site. 3 weeks later, Jolson saw a production of George Coran, The Rise of Fools, The Rise of Rosa O'Donnell, and noticed that she was the showcast, not knowing she was about her Broadway career. Jolson attended another one, Showgirls Rose audience to do us at least Lisa. Okay, we'll skip all of that. Okay, in 1994, he gave a military. Okay. All right. Now, that's what I want to get to. Okay. The dust, the dirt at the Korean front. When he returned a few weeks later, he had settled remain lungs, and he was closed exhaustion by playing car suite at the St. France Hotel, 335 Powell Street in St. France. says Jolson died of a mass heart attack on October 23rd, 1950. His last words was, say, oh, I'm going. His age was given as 64. After his wife received the news, the death by the phone, she went into shock and required family members to stay with her at the funeral. Police estimate upward 20,000 people showed up, despite the threats of rain. It became one of the biggest funerals in showbiz history. Celebrities paid tribute to Bob Hope, speaking from Korea with shortwave, said that the world had lost not only a great entertainer, but also a great citizen. Larry Parks said that the world had lost not only its greatest entertainer, but its great America as he casually in the Korean War. Script Howard newspaper drew a pair of white gloves on a black ground. Capture read, the song is ending. So they show, well,
So that's the story of Al Jolson. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up my panel. And the ones that want to get on, let me know. Put your name, put your email in the chat. And then we're gonna talk about this. All right. So I'm glad that everybody had came out. Very much appreciated. So you stay asleep. Watch out for your link. Poetic Cows. Oh no. So I want your take on this. And we're gonna talk about how it applies to today. Yeah. All right, Party Cows, I'm sending that to you. Malik. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro?
All right. What's your take on the late Al Jolson, the story that you heard?
Well, you know, I see, I'm learning, who's the father behind blackface. I never knew that.
Yeah.
You know, um, so I'm glad you brought that to the people.
Mm-hmm.
So but I didn't think that he would be a Jewish guy, but I'm not really
Oh
surprised.
yeah.
I'm not really surprised at the end of the day because you know how that go.
Yeah.
They
Exactly.
they look to you know, get off on us and shit like that. So I'm not shocked, but I see that he became really famous off it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah. And it
became
goes to show how, and you see how they talk very candid about it.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And,
It
and
was
it,
like it
huh?
was like a thing. It was like it was like something that was celebrated.
Right.
You know, like people didn't look down on it. It was actually celebrated, and that's crazy. You know, because you couldn't back in them days you couldn't make a mockery of a Jewish person or um a regular Caucasian person or whatever. You wasn't
Mm-hmm.
allowed to do that, but they made money off of um making us look like fools.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that people need to pay attention to
Mm-hmm.
because they, like I said, they made a lot of money from it. That dude himself made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy. Like how people really like to see stuff like that. I would never think nobody would like to see anything like that, but people like to see shit like that. And what's crazy is how it's like the same way today. People like to see us make a fool of ourselves. They like to laugh at, you know, um, our pain or just profiting off of um off of our image,
Mm-hmm.
and you could I'ma just say this. Al Jolson was one of the first culture vultures.
Mm-hmm.
We like to talk about culture vultures, but Al Jolson, he was one of the first ones. Just off listening to the story, he was one of the first culture vultures.
Right.
Because he made a lot of money off of our image. And the sad part is a lot of people who enjoyed it probably didn't know that he was, probably didn't know he was a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
They probably didn't know the history of, where he came from and stuff like that. They just saw it to be funny and, they wanted to run with it and they did and they made money from it. It's the same way now in the entertainment industry. They don't care. They profit off of our pain. They profit off our image. And if they want to make a mockery of us, they'll make a whole lot more money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Hello, hello. What's going on? I'm sorry, y'all. I was asleep and I got a call from my brother. What's going on? What's the topic?
Al Jolson, you was here earlier, right? You was in
I
the chat.
was here earlier, but I dozed off. I work two jobs. I work 7 days a week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we was talking about Al Jolson. He was the first white man that painted he painted his face black.
Oh Lord,
And
I
he
hate this.
yeah, he's one of the first ones that started the Mitchell show back in the early 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Mm-hmm.
and he profited a lot. And that was during the time that highly us as African Americans, I'm talking about actors and actors was not getting jobs.
Right, and that's to me the most sickest thing in the world. That you don't want to give this race jobs, but you will paint your face to the color to attempt to do the same thing, but oh, I'm this person. That's sick to me. That is the most sickest thing. When I first saw that as a child, I thought it was like I couldn't believe it. I had to ask my dad about this. This cannot be seriously. This is a real thing that actually. He sat me down. I was like, yes, this is a real thing that actually happened. That killed my spirit when I was young. And I saw that people for a long period of time dressed up in blackface and people would come pay shows, pay money to go see these shows to be entertained, even though it wasn't us. We weren't getting paid for it. That
Yeah.
was sick. Sick.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it, I tell my sons about this now, and I say, even though it's a different time period, and I know it may be hard for you to wrap your mind around because it was so long ago, but
Mm-hmm.
we do the same thing now. We just, we using our own. It's only us doing it. We're still doing the same
Mm-hmm.
dancing and all of that buffoonery, and I can't stand it. I mean, I can't. And I tell my boys and my daughter that there will be no dancing like that. There'll be no entertaining for nobody. There's no way. We're not like little monkeys that you're throwing little fruit bananas to, and they're just telling them. There's no. I'm not dealing with that.
I hear you. Yeah, you said oh reliable. You say you block. How you block? Yeah, you still here. You not blocked. You good, oh reliable. You good. We all can see you. You good. You good, fam. You good. So I think what it is how they portrayed this person. Oh yeah, he went. Oh yeah, he was there for civil rights. Well, he got people in, and he got the nerve that he started jazz. No, he did not start jazz. He copied from us, and he got over of his painting face. And we have to understand this, and that's what I said before. I said at the beginning of the line. If there's anything that you hear offensive, walk, y'all can leave. Because I'm telling you, I'm bringing the truth tonight. And we have to understand the ones who's running the music industry that's even started Warner Brothers record, Warner Brothers music, I mean Warner Brothers Studios was Jews. And then without the movie careers, even decades and decades ago, that is not being mentioned. But do you see how they try to compare our rights to their rights? Like they say they stand with us, but at the same time, they disrespect us. They ridicule us. They use our music and our and wherever we have for their benefit. And they prosper for it. They their economics had went up while ours was still the same. And it's still happening today. Any of y'all could chime on that because I'm trying to get some more people on here. You know, y'all can both could speak. Get some more people in here. And that's sick. Y'all can go ahead. Hello? Hello? Y'all
I'm
can mute
sorry.
your mic.
Can you hear me? I'm
Y'all
sorry.
can
I
hear
don't know.
you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what happened. Anyway, what I was saying was, you talking about this type of subject, people might not want to hear about it, but I do think it's a subject that needs to be spoken about. To be honest with you, you don't really hear about this anywhere. It's kind of heavy. It's kind of like talking about religion. Nobody really wants to speak on it, but it needs to be spoken about. It's a part of our history, whether we like it or not. There's a lot of things in our history that we don't like, but as a community, we still should talk about it because we're doomed to repeat it again. Even you can't bury stuff; it has to come out. So I commend you, brother, for tackling this subject. And people should want to speak about it. No one should leave. They should stay around and talk about it, give their opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think what it is they don't want to talk because they don't want to deal with it. But I always deal with issues like that because it plays on today.
Right.
And a
It
lot of
does.
us don't want a lot of us don't want to accept that. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people you have an option to leave. Ain't no problem, but we're gonna deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, it's still gonna be there. And you gotta know the history of this mistress shows and the mistress dances and stuff. And how other nationalities capitalize on this. That is another conversation that we don't like to talk about. We really don't.
Yeah, well, like I said before, there's a lot of conversation as far as in our community that we don't want to speak about. We are really our community that like to bury things, bury our head in the sand, and act like it's gonna be okay in the morning. But you might bury it, but you bury things far enough, eventually it will come back up, and it'll come back at the worst times. So in reality, I feel like, hey, if you got somebody on this platform talking about something about this subject, which no one wants to speak about, but I think it's time. Like I said, I commend you. This is kind of topic. I mean, this is kind of conversations that we need to have more on YouTube instead of drama and mess. And there'd be more conversation about this instead of who did what wrong and who's on team who and blah blah blah. You know, we just it's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. You should do this. What you're talking about right now is something that YouTube needs to speak about more because YouTube is so messy right now. And I love the way that your channel is positive and talking about the real issues. Whether people want to hear about it or not, you tackle it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And your channel too. I'm glad that you know you do what you gotta do too. But um, and so that's what it's all about and everything. Um,
But look here, hon. I got to get off of here though. I got to go to
okay,
work in the morning. I appreciate you
all
calling
right.
me. Have a good night, hon.
You do the same. Thanks for dropping. Oh, we wait. Drop. Can you have some more people? Um, when she Stacy come back, but I'm gonna talk more about it.
I'm back, bro.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, we really gotta just you know, look at what's going on now and understand this is why history is important
Mhm.
because he basically, this dude, this Jewish dude, he made it cool or made it entertaining for black people to act like court jesters in
Mhm.
the entertainment industry. This how you got dudes like Kevin Hart, a fucking court jester coon, because he made it entertaining for white people and other black people to accept it early on.
Mhm.
And I think that was the most important part of him painting his face black.
Mhm.
On top of it being prejudiced and racist, you know, what he did was he set a precedent where people wanted to see niggas act a certain way
Mhm.
because they connected the blackface to black people. So he was basically, you know, showing black people in a certain light and expressing to the world that this is how niggas act.
Mhm.
So now when you got niggas like Kevin Hart running around, you know, doing the same shit Al Jolson was doing,
Right.
except he's not painting his face black. He's actually a black man. And that's what the blackface was depicting, a
Mhm.
black man.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Some people would just say, "Oh, he was just acting." No, because if your ass paint your face like you Adolf Hitler, then you'll be considered anti-Semitic.
Mhm.
If you was to
Yeah.
paint your face like the Pope and act like you doing some shit to children,
Mhm.
you'll be demonized for it. They'll find a charge to give you
Right.
for that shit. But he made it cool early on to have especially white folks accept this buffoonish behavior by black people. And this is why they like certain actors, they like certain rappers, because it takes them back to the blackface and the history of what he depicted about black people. And white people love to see niggas act like niggas.
Uh-huh.
And when you look at the shit that he was doing in blackface, he was depicting or showing people that this is how niggas act.
Mhm.
Isn't it funny, y'all? Look at me. I'm acting like a nigga.
Right.
That's what he was doing. He really was making fun of us,
Mhm.
because he knew that would make money. Because from the time of slavery, they made money off of watching niggas do certain shit. Like the sport of boxing was created during slavery, where they watched black men beat the shit out of each other, and they found it entertaining and turned it into a sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You even see it. You even see it in prison, where guards would bet money against each other to watch inmates beat each other up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So y'all really got to pay attention to what type of precedent this dude established, with
Mm-hmm.
him painting his face black and acting stupid, because later on they implemented that into the earlier cartoons.
Right.
Before we had color TVs, they implemented blackface onto certain characters.
Right, exactly, and then go more on that too, and that's when now we're talking about going into the 30s. That's when Walt Disney was born, and that's when if you see them racist black dogs, all that comes from Disney too. So they did come along the line. They learned from that Al Jolson people. Disney,
And Walt Disney is what? Jews.
right?
What was Al Jolson? A Jew.
Dude, right.
The
So they have the
who
music.
runs the music industry?
They have
Jews.
movies and music industry locked down. That even, and I'm gonna tell you, I forgot to drop this Jew on your too. They also was pushing derogatory Negro songs too.
Of course. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And we gotta, you know, we gotta understand how, you know, that's why I like to watch a lot of the mob movies too.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when you watch mobsters, the smartest mobster that was part of the crew, that was part of the commission, was the Jew, Meyer Lansky. He was also the richest one out of all of them. He was a billionaire back in the 20s and 30s. Meyer Lansky was a billionaire. Who you think helped build the first casinos? Meyer Lansky. He gave the money to Bugsy Siegel. What was Bugsy Siegel? A Jew.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the whole mobsters, those were the only two Jews. Because what? To be a mobster, you had to be what? An Italian. You had to be a full-blooded Italian or have Sicilian blood. They were Jews.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why they were Jews? Because the Italians linked with the Jews because the Jews brought business. They knew these dudes are mathematicians. They're strategists. And everything they do is strategic. So when that dude put on blackface, he knew what was going to come with that. And Walt Disney and Hollywood and all of that just adopted it
Mm-hmm.
because they saw how much money Al Jolson made in the early days before they existed. They
Right.
like, oh shit, if this dude can make all this money by himself, what if we was to get a bunch of artists and start putting this shit in cartoons and play this shit on TV?
Mm-hmm.
You see? See what that's how Jews think. Jews are strategists. They're
Yeah.
strategists. That's how they make their money. They're very, very strategic. This is why they run Hollywood. This is why you have people saying Hollywood and the Holly and spells and how do you cast a spell on somebody?
Mm-hmm.
By getting into their mind, by making them believe what they see. And Al Jolson set that standard. He set that standard. That's why I'm glad you brought this up, bro, because this shit ties into everything that we see today. We wonder why the Jews run the entertainment industry and the music industry. We wonder why they run Hollywood because it started with a Jew, Al Jolson.
Mm-hmm.
It started with a Jew.
And
They
then
been made it cool to to mock niggas and to show niggas in a bad light. They that been cool. So those guys who run Walt Disney in Hollywood, they just took what Al Jolson already put out there, adopted it, and took it to another level.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing about that, a lot of people don't understand this, and I definitely want you to touch this on this too. I will do it too. That the constant when it was going on, it was a constant decrease of economics of showbiz that we had to deal with it for decades. That sometimes at times we don't want to deal with that, but it's true. It's bad enough. It's like some of us we squeak by and everything, but there's a lot of them had to do obscene things to make a buck, but they become legends because that's all they had. And we need to salute these brothers and sisters that is not so famous that paved the way. And you know, it just for me, it's like I always want to do a story about this, and you know, and I was like one of the stories I want to do last year, but it was I didn't want to do I didn't want to do it on a phone. You know what I'm saying? I think this story need a bigger audience, you know, and so. But we're gonna talk about that. I'm trying to get people on. Brother Rob, watch out for your link. I be sending the link out. Poetic Health, send out for your link. Malik Omar, I send out for the link to you too. Watch out for the links. And
Well, you know, at the end of the day, bro, you know, this is why history is important. Like Brother Rob always say, history is always good to know where things come from. Because if you don't understand where it come from, you don't understand why it operates the way it operates in the present day.
Yeah.
You see, Hollywood was built off the backs of niggas. Just like this country was built off the backs of niggas. Just like everything that these Caucasians own and run was built off the backs and the intelligence of us.
Right.
And they know that. So the reason why they kept black people out for a long time, because how you think they got the money to build fucking Hollywood?
Facts.
They had to keep us out. And after a while, they said, listen, we got to bring these niggas in if we want to make even more money. So we got to salute the guys like Sidney Poitier, you know, the earlier people, you know, the Red Foxes. We got to salute them because they was able to make it. And they dealt with a lot of shit.
Yeah, and
You know,
also
they dealt with the prejudice and the racism dealing with these people. They dealt with it.
right, and then the sisters you got Lena Horne, the late great Lena Horne, the late great Della Reese, the late great Maya Angelou. You got Billie Holiday. You got countless others, even women who had to deal with it. Jay Sean Randoms, thanks for coming. I like this is so true. He said in 1904 they had 3,000 savages from Africa and Americans in a human zoo in St. Louis. That is right, and I'm glad you brought that because I was thinking about that too. Thank you, my brother, and welcome. And that also comes from the mistress. We talking about early 1900s, family. So this was a trend for decades. You know what I mean? This was put in place. That's an excellent point, Jay Sean Randers. Peace to you and your foundation, and welcome back to the chat. Welcome back to the family and stuff like that. Malik Omar, LDPC. Welcome. Malik.
Yeah, he probably busy, bro.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
trying to get his shit together.
Yeah.
But that is a good point, man. Like, That shit is crazy, man.
Good. Yeah, JT.
What's up?
Hey, Sheik.
What's up, bro?
I'm
Hey,
good.
hey, what's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, salute the sheep, stay sleep. Salute to you, JT. I don't know what's up with the sound, man. Salute the brother Rob, the king in the chat. Salute to all the sisters and the brothers. And I want to salute you, JT, man, for having this convo, man. That's my lane, this black exploitation, man. You know, I'm in the film industry, man, and this is real. Sheep laid it down, man. Them Jews, man, they definitely have done some cold-blooded damage, man. And the thing about it, brother, if you could get a black man, all this can be dated. I tell everybody do their research. Don't take just do your research. All that a black man putting on a dress, a black man or a black woman with that talk playing that old sample talk like this new age is this Kevin Hart thing. It's sickening, man. They destroy us literally, and that's why I'm independent, man, because this is disgusting. Anything in that old punk Cedric the Entertainer when he in Barbershop 2, when he said Rosa Parks wasn't nothing but a bitch and called her a fat hoe. Now I mean that nigga when he said that, guess who wrote it? Some Jews. And so we as a people, man, we have the definitely we have the means and the wherewithal to support our own movies, man, because this thing goes way back, man, and it's disgusting. I mean, anything if a black woman is not getting beat, raped, or talked down, or they got the black man acting like a total fool, you can't make no money. So Tyler Perry, I'm not even dissing the brother. My wife is a big fan of the brother, man. However, I got issues with that Medea character because the most dangerous thing right now is a black heterosexual man that take care of his family and that's in the household. That image, man, destroys us, and it's the sickening, man. Like and this is God. My God is my witness. I had the wherewithal to go down that lane and sell my soul and write it in blood through the devil, man. But I choose not. I choose to crawl before I walk. Because man, I'll be doggone, man, if I'm gonna go out here making us look buffoonish, talking that old Sambo talk. That's disgusting, man. That
Yeah.
blackface, they had that old chump. You talked about him earlier, that old Jew painted his face up and looking at the camera talking about mammy, mammy. Walt Disney, all them characters with them big, thick lips, and man, that stuff. This thing is deep, man. It's disgusting, man. And you have to do the history of this. Anybody in the chat, don't take my word. Because what it is, what they doing though, little bit by little bit by little bit, is they destroying us, man. They don't have to do it with the whip no more, JT. They don't have to do it sheep with the gun. You dig what I'm saying? But they do it is through media and through character assassination, man. That's why everywhere you go, man, if a black man walk past somebody car or something, they lock in their cars. Or you walk in the store and you the only brother, it get quiet and everybody get frightened and whatnot. These are myths. These are sicknesses, man. These are tabloids that has destroyed our character, man. Hollywood's something else, bro. I tell you. But black exploitation, man, and a lot of the movies too. If I'm too long with it, please forgive me, JT. A lot of the movies like the Mac, a brother pimping his hoes, talking to hoe talk, and he talking to the old pimp talk. Them movies, they went rocket. I mean, they broke all kind of record sales, man. Dolomite, all this stuff, man, is sickening. And I found it to be ironic. And I gotta give kudos to one of my ex professors, Spike Lee, who said that, man, he ain't hardly make no money, man, off of when he did that war picture, man, and versus Tyler Perry movie. And we went out in flocks to see a black man dress up in a dress and berate black women, because black women don't act like that. On the whole, man, they some of the most spiritual, beautiful, intelligent women on this planet, man. We wouldn't even be here. In fact, the calendar is based on the black woman's body physiology. 28 days was added on for our ancestors, JT and Sheik, and then they represented her menstrual cycle. They added on two more in the Gregorian calendar for the male and female. So that equal 30 days, man. So without her, we nothing, man. But they got us in the world believing, and they farm these movies and these videos all over the world, man. And one of my brother Deeks, he said that when he went to Africa in a village, all the men they moved the woman and the women's and their children in the house, and he was wondering why they treating African American men who's coming to the continent like this. Well, what they didn't know is that they perpetuated all these videos over there, the Mac. You know what I'm saying? All these videos, the Shaft, all that stuff, man. So people got a bad outlook on us. The Chinese do. all that, man. But you know, I'm gonna pass the mic because I'm going in, but I ain't going nowhere, JT. This is my
All right,
lane, man.
cool.
I got to talk
Yeah.
about this.
All right, yeah, stay right there because I'm trying to get more people on. Jay Sean Randall, again, welcome. He said, this is true. They had black people on display in zoos well into 1930 and had nerve to judge the Nazis. They were no better. It's true. That is very true. See, it's very true. And then they was doing throughout the U.S. too, certain parts of the world too. They even explode the black woman's behind the titties. Even like the white man that had babies, the white woman was giving. I mean, the white woman was giving a baby to the white woman so they could breastfeed. You know, even she was married, the black man had to deal with that. And the white woman had to deal with, and the black woman had to deal with that. So this can go a lot of angles that a lot of us as a people, we don't like talking about it. And I just made up a new one today, you know, just now. I mean, not too long ago, a lot of these people be acting on faith. You might bunch of coos and coonettes, you might as well paint your face white. You might as well paint your face oppressor color. Because you're no good. You're a bunch of Al Jolsons, sellouts. You might as well paint your face white. Because what you're doing, the way you're acting, you acting how these people had they treated us as a people, you know, messed up for decades ago. Y'all created your own Mitchell show right now. And you're so dumbfounded to understand that because a lot of it is fuel. Y'all don't even want to look deep down at what the history, what the minstrel show is all about. Of all levels, including economics, including political. Some of us has failed to see that. And it's happening right now. And they have a larger negative effect more than ever right now. We act like a bunch of animals. We act like we don't have no goddamn sense. And then when you got some people call you out, you don't have no right to call me out. It's all about making money. Oh, so it's all about selling your goddamn self. So you're a bunch of Al Jolson sellouts, huh? You down with the minstrel show, huh? Y'all can touch on that while trying to get the family on the thing. Trying to get the family on the
Yeah, character assassination, Sheik and JT. That's what we're dealing with, man. We're dealing with character assassination, man. And that television, that's the most dangerous instrument that you can have in your house, black man and black woman. Because we don't own none of them major stations. We don't have a say so or not, man. We got YouTube channels, but I'm talking about majors. You know, that's the most dangerous thing, man. That's the new cocaine. That's the new heroin that tell a vision and they destroy us. You know what I mean? They tell you what they think about us. And it's disgusting, man. You know, for us to even go on a television and watch.
And to me, you know, and like, you know, like Jay Sean Random, she said, yeah, it pissed you off. It does. And you know, people can hide their emotions, but they do even doing this show, doing this live. I had to really keep my emotions, but it pissed me off because we have examples in the past that we see how they treat us, and we still don't learn.
Yeah. 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 That's why it took me a while to call in, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm very passionate, not only passionate, man, but it hits me to the core. I'm very emotional about it, man, because I love black men out here. And I don't want to call, man, I'm getting hating. Ain't nobody hating, brother. You know, trying to know thyself, man. We got to change this stuff, JT. We dying, man. We ain't stinking ourselves, man. And that television, man, that's dangerous. I'm not telling nobody. I have one in my television. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't have one. Yes, I do. I do a lot of my work off of television and whatnot. However, there are some projects, JT, man, that I won't touch on.
It's crazy. It really is. And Brother Rob, watch out for your link. I'm saying the link again.
Yeah, Brother Rob, come on, man. We need you on.
I'm trying to send it. Is what I don't know. This lately, you know, like this. So I'm Puerto Cows.
Puerto Cows, salute sisters. Come on the chat. Need some sisters on the chat. Make this balance.
I'm trying. She say sleep. You can touch on it. Whatever I said doesn't make a difference.
You know, no doubt.
Let's see.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. I mean, but see, the flip side to this whole thing is if we don't want our people to continue to sell out and become these Al Jolsons, the black Al Jolsons, then we gotta support each other monetarily. So if a person, you know, has a GoFundMe, stop shaming them. If a person a YouTube channel and they're doing something, or they have a project, or they're doing things that lead up to doing a project, support them monetarily and stop trying to shit on black people because they ask black people to donate to them. Because guess what? The motherfuckers that we calling our oppressors, that's destroying our image, they go get money from other people who agree with them to continue this onslaught on us. It's not just one group of people, it's all of them together. They all come together for our demise. So we should all come together for our upliftment. But you got people on here that want to shame you because you get donations or because you ask for people to donate to you. You see what I'm saying? Like the brother Malik, he's an independent film person. You know, he should be able to upload a film on his YouTube channel and get support. He should be able to get 10,000 views in a day.
Right.
If he have a GoFundMe and ask people to donate to his project, people should donate to it. People shouldn't say, "Oh, that nigga begging. Oh, he on here trying to make money off YouTube." Niggas gotta stop doing that shit. Because at the end of the day, these white folks, what you think they use YouTube for? What, like, it's a dude that my son watch, white dude. He from the UK. His name is Dan TDM. He's a gamer. This dude done got so much donations and so much views from people that now he got toys in Toys R Us, a YouTuber. They got other YouTubers that have their own action figures. But guess what? They all Caucasian. Why? Because the Caucasian audience don't mind patronizing their people. But we so busy shaming each other, and this is why we stay at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? We got.
You're breaking up, Sheik.
If we change, we gotta be willing to support. Period.
That's
we
right.
Can't just support. If I'm not saying you gotta give up money all the time, but if you can support monetarily, support. Because at the end of the day, either you part of the problem or you part of the solution. You can't keep crying about or keep complaining about something that's not there when you could be part of the reason that need is fulfilled. But you got niggas on here shaming people for asking for donations. Why? Especially if it's for a good cause. Donate to it. You know what I'm saying? Now if this dude is just taking this money and running around pissing it away or whatever, then I could see why a person may be reluctant to donate. But if they giving you quality content and you know that they platform could perhaps go somewhere, donate, man. And don't be ashamed of it. Because black people, we got a problem with crying broke, but then we don't support each other.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to donate to each other. You know, a nigga got a high, he got a job in a high place. He don't want to put niggas on. He want to become a gatekeeper, keep the door closed once he go in the door. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that we need to get over if we really want to see something happen.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to see some changes, we have to be the change. We have to do something. But if we don't do that, it's going to be more and more Al Jolsons. The new Al Jolson is Kevin Hart. And look what he is. He's a black gatekeeper.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? He got in the door and look what he did. He stood by the door and said, not you, not you, not you, not you. Come here, Tiffany. You could come with me, Tiffany. He's a gatekeeper. That was another reason why he felt obligated to defend her, because he picked her. You coming with me. You see what I'm saying? He could have helped Kevin. He could have helped Cat Williams. He could have helped them. He could help a lot of people. But he's a gatekeeper, so he could pick and choose. Nah, I don't want him. Nah, I don't really like him. I ain't never really liked that nigga. I ain't helping him. Come here, girl. And not that it's something wrong with him helping a black woman, because it isn't. But it's about intent. You see what I'm saying? It's about intent. And at the end of the day, Kevin Hart is not independent. He's owned by Hollywood. He don't own his shit. He don't own his shit. So, you know, that's what we got to do, man.
All right, brother Rob, the educating our community.
Peace, brother. How you feeling tonight?
Well, I'm here, brother. You know how I do.
Yes, sir. Peace to you, good brother. Peace to the panel, man. Man. This topic I do a lot of research on, so I was somewhat familiar with Al Jolson, and he's one of those figures in history where you look at, and it's easy to paint a narrative Al Jolson without looking like deep into the details. You know, as they say, the devil is in the details, right? Right. So Al Jolson, um, he was highly successful. I would say, of course, if I'm repeating what was already stated, forgive me. I came to the panel late and the bill late. So man, my fault for that, JT. I was in the crib tied up. But Al Jolson, although he was successful, right, he is credited for bringing jazz, ragtime jazz, and blues to the forefront in the entertainment industry. And then another thing that Al Jolson did, he was one of the first entertainers to entertain the troops. And so these were the years during and after World War II. So this is a very, uh, let's say, polarizing time in the United States, right? It was white and black for sure, for sure. You know what I mean? And uh, Al Jolson did good things for black people too, you know what I'm saying? But does that make him any less racist than what he was? I would say no. It was just at that time, uh, if you look at it. So this is it's a widely known story, and it was brought up at his funeral, right? It was two black actors that had went out to dinner, and then they got rejected by the restaurant. Al Jolson took them back out to dinner at the same restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to look at the what he did, blackface, and say that he was this person, that person, right? But what he did, it was damaging to the image of black folks. But at the time that it was happening, the people who so Cab Calloway, he was at his funeral. His funeral was lined with black folks, and they loved him. You know what I mean? But here we are in 2018. And I'm not throwing any slights at anybody on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Please forgive me if it comes off that way. But we looking at it through our 2018 eyes. And so that's why it's very important that we understand the contextual part of history. Um, History does tell a story, and we know how damaging the images were of blackface to this day, and I mean, and it's a very sensitive issue, but we have to be able to look at history and take our emotions out of it, strip our emotions out of it, look at what happened, make sense of it, and then now that's where we strategize. You see, that's where we build our foundation. All right, we understand where we went wrong, things that maybe we could have shifted in our favor, and then grow from there. You know what I mean? Not participating in the entertainment industry, I think, would be foolish. You know what I'm saying? We would be better served if we dictated the terms a little more. You know what I'm saying? And so the reason why I'm talking like this is because we have to be very careful, right? You know what I'm saying? We are live on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And
I get
so,
I get what you're saying, Rob,
hmm
and I trust me, I get what. But see, this is what I'm at right now,
right.
and I want you to understand I want you to understand what I'm coming from.
Right.
Is this that if we're gonna pay, and I understand, I'm with you, I'm in alignment with this, but don't want you to understand what I'm coming from.
Okay, I'm listening.
If we gonna talk about history, we gotta talk about history. What's really happening? I understand what you're saying. Yeah, he did those things, but at the same time, to me, it doesn't negate what happened. He has a chance to stand up for our people earlier. Now, later on his life, I understand you say he did, but for me, at that time, it was still a few of us was still getting in a show business. It was, and I'm talking about great talent, and it was still was a racial undertone of show business of that time. And
hmm
I feel that people get emotional. I understand what you're saying. Sometimes we gotta take emotion out of it, but now it applies to today. We still got some of us as a people, we still refuse to understand of what economic power or political power of showbiz power that we have. And we still see a lot of these mistress attitudes and these mistress shows is really going on. And like I said before, like 20 minutes ago, these I mean, quite a few of our actors and our actresses, they know what's going on, and then they still do not want to be accountable. And for me, I have a big problem with that. If you said that you all about for our people, we should talk. We should talk about stuff like that's what I bring this to the forefront because, like you, I study our jokes. I learned about our jokes when I was very young, and it just for me throughout the years, I seen in my eyes that I know my lens is clear
hmm
that a lot of us still don't get it. So understand when I created this, there's issues within me that I actually see in my lifetime, but I have to say, you know what? I have to bring the truth, what's going on for our community, because there are some of us don't even know what the mistress what's going on, even what you was talking about, even She Stay Sleep was talking about, even the people in the chat were talking about, even Malik was talking about. A lot of us don't even know of that time of our history. So I have to bring this forefront about it, so we will understand, we will educate ourselves. And so I salute you there. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from.
Oh man, hey, I completely understand the sentiment, and like I was trying to allude to, maybe I didn't make the point as punctual as I should have. The character of blackface, it was extremely damaging to the black psyche. Like literally, now you got a genetic memory. If you see somebody in blackface, even if it's a black person, you're gonna frown up. Aesthetically, that's not gonna look good to you. You
Right.
know what I mean? So you got a genetic. We already have that in us. We, as a baby, you would frown up at that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was extremely damaging to our psyche, right? And so what I'm proposing here tonight is, we look at the fact that our ancestors, they were in era in doing business with this man. Like I told you, Cab. I think I don't remember exactly if it was Cab Calloway or Duke Ellington. Uh, but one of them spoke at Al Johnson's funeral, Jolson's funeral. You know what I'm saying? And so to bring balance to the conversation and to throw in those details, this is a complex character that we talking about.
Yeah.
Uh, he definitely had impact on the entire entertainment industry, and as I put in the chat, right? Um, when the Jewish people got their reparations after World War II, there were a number of things that they invested in, right? They invested in banking, they invested in insurance, they invested in newspapers, and they invested in the entertainment industry. And then later down the line, which is natural in business, they invested in the travel industry, which would include lodging, you know what I'm saying, cars, things of this nature. Do you see what I mean? So, be, being that this is a complex issue, you know what I'm saying? We talking about propaganda, you know what I'm saying? So now we have to bring in people like Edward Bernays into the conversation. We have to
Yeah.
bring in people like B.F. Skinner into the conversation. These are very damaging people in history to black folks, and they ain't. We talking about people like we can talk about it all day. So most people out here in the YouTube world have no idea who Edward Bernays is. Who is that? You know what I'm saying? Real shit, bro. They don't know who the fuck B.F. Skinner is. When I say B.F. Skinner, motherfuckers start looking into the clouds. Like,
Yeah.
is he coming down? They have no idea who this
Right.
guy
And
is.
but you know what, brother Rob? I want you to go into that.
Man,
Please.
all right, okay. So Edward Bernays, you would refer anybody that study history know that Edward Bernays is the father of propaganda. He gets that credit in history. Why does he get that credit in history, brother Rob? Hey, your Department of Defense, that is now called, Edward Bernays convinced the president of the United States of America to call it, don't call it the Department of War, call it the Department of Defense. Why? Because that sounds more aesthetic to your ear. We're not about to bring millions of bombs to your country now. You're not going to bend to our will economically because we got all these guns pointed at you because we are the United States Defense Department. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
Just the word alone, just flipping that little word, he's giving credit to have women start smoking to make it like almost sexy in a way for women to smoke cigarettes. Women did not smoke cigarettes until Edward Bernays. Who hired him? The one of the most powerful men in business that nobody ever talk about, Philip Morris. You see? And so now that's why I told you earlier, right? We have to be very careful. These are some very, hey, in no way, shape, or form, I'm a man over here, okay? I'm not fearful of no man, right? But at the same time, these are some very powerful people, right? So let's talk about our this guy in history, a real deal nerd, evil nerd. His name is B.F. Skinner. Now, B.F. Skinner was doing these psychological tests on mice, right? B.F. Skinner had this study that the CIA took um, great interest in, which ended up becoming the backbone of what the FBI did to the Black Power movement during the 50s and the 60s. You know, starting with funding the killing of Harry T. Moore. Who is Harry T. Moore? Harry T. Moore was killed in 1954, and he organized so many black people in Florida. That's what made them change the voting districts. This is the first time ever in the history of America they changed voting. They changed voting. Well, not in the history of America, but in the contemporary history of America, where they changed voting districts because of Harry T. Moore. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this rabbit hole that we going down is getting deep. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
but the CIA, they used all of these different things. This is where the projects come from. You know what I'm saying? He told it was, you know, the mayors, you know how they get together every year, right? And had a mayors meeting. He told the mayors of all of these urban cities, hey, if you build these projects, I know they look good, but if you build these projects, these people are gonna kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna produce, you know, generational poverty. I think everybody that grew up in an urban city, they got motherfucking projects there. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's called a project. Do you see? Do you see? So we have to connect all of these dots, right? Uh, uh, um, uh, let's look at the theories behind uh, Francis Cress Wesleyan's mentor. Why I can't think of his name. Um, uh, um, um, man, why I can't think of the elder's name? Uh, huh?
Talking
Oh,
about the doctor?
no, not he's not a doctor. Um, but he came up with the compensatory code for black folks, and he a real plain spoken cat. I cannot
Oh, you
think of
talking
his name.
about Neely? You talking about Neely
Yes,
Fuller?
Nellie Fuller. The
Nelly Fuller.
nine areas of human interaction,
Right.
right? Economics. Oh, I think you know, the small hats got a stronghold there. You know, entertainment. Oh, the small hats, they got a stronghold there. You know, what about law? Mm, the strongholds definitely got a stronghold there. So me in saying all of this, right? I don't want the people that are listening to even come into any type of fear, right? Here it is, right? Our spirituality is our power. That's our power. So if you're a praying man, if you're a praying woman, don't pray for less problems. You pray for the wisdom and the power to overcome them.
Mm-hmm.
You see? That's where we gotta be at.
Mm-hmm.
We
Right.
gotta understand what's happening. We got a brother that's in the industry that's on this panel that's telling you, and I'd improved it. If nobody's seen it, maybe I need to do the presentation again. The power of propaganda and how it affects your thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. I know I've been long winded, so I'm gonna close out right here. Right, a lot of black folks gotta fight that nigga that's in you. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
gotta fight it. We hate each
Amen.
other.
Amen.
We hate each other with a
Yeah.
great hatred, and you
Mm-hmm.
gotta fight that nigga. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta fight him. I love our people. I love our women. I
Mm-hmm.
love our children. And I'm fighting, fam. I'm gonna continue to fight. I love it when people tell me it's hopeless, cause now I know how much harder I gotta fight. Hey, I ain't shook over here, fam. I'm gonna keep fighting to my last breath, Joe. You
Well,
know
you
what I
know,
mean?
you know
So
what?
I'm encouraged, fam. I'm gonna fall back now.
No, but you know what, Rob, and I'm gonna get back to the subject, and that's what I say on my last live when I did YouTube cult leaders and followers part 4. This system, they gotta take my ass out. I'm being dead ass. I'm here for the whole. I'm here to fight. I believe I was born on my late father and my mom still live. I believe I was here for the fight for the cause of us melanin people to let the whole world know that we are part of this human race. And I'm still gonna fight for the rights, and I'm still gonna be here no matter what status and I'm in. And that's what I'm all about. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, yes, I'm building for legacy and everything, but I build for the legacy of our people. I want our people to understand that I'm here for the fight, no matter what. If it's them, no matter what. So that's why I decided a long time ago I'm going to take on issues like that, and I'm going to put on a platform. And you know how I do, and everybody else. It's all about finding solutions. But issues like this, we have to talk about it because it plays right on today. Like I said before, and I'm going to emphasize it that some of us as a black man and black woman, we act mistress, and that's derogatory. We might as well paint a white face. You might as well be a jigger. You might as well do all those things. And so I'm glad that we have these conversations tonight. And Malik and She Stay Sleep, I want you to pick up on that. And Brother Rob, I want to ask you a question of of the school aspect of it. But all right. So, but I want Malik and She Stay Sleep. Pick up what Brother Rob's saying, please.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hey, shit, you want to go or? Okay, well, I guess I'll go.
Yeah, you go ahead,
Um,
bro.
yeah, yeah. Okay, she, yeah. But brother JT, I just want to well, with all the things that brother Rob said is spot on. Brother Rob, every time he opened up his mouth, like I said about she take
You're breaking up.
she stay. Can you hear me now, JT?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Sleep. Oh, always something to learn. Jigger block. All right, but nah, Jay was a lot of the things that brother Rob was talking about. Every time you open his mouth, man, you need to have a pen or a pencil or have your ears open. The same thing with Sheep Stay Sleep. That's why I like to be on this panel with like-minded black men. I mean, ask yourself, sisters that's in the panel, single, and JT too. What if they could have many clones of brothers like that and myself? Yeah, this world would be a whole lot better, man.
Uh-huh.
Because right now we outnumber. Like Brother Rob said, y'all always hear me say on this channel, man, I used to suffer from niggerism. You know what I'm saying? But I healed myself. I'm a black man now. We all suffer from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you gotta fight that nigga in you. This is real. It's a struggle. Because growing up from a baby, man, you taught to be a nigga. Unfortunately, you taught to talk the Sambo talk. You taught to talk the Bojangle, Mr. Bojangle talk. You taught to Tom, Coon. You taught to talk us down and look at everybody else as being superior. That's why black folks out here talking about white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And there's no such thing as white supremacy. That's why I don't use that term. Institutionalized racism. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but not white supremacy. There ain't nothing supreme about them, brother. But to pick up on what Brother Rob was saying, man, you know, we as a people, we have to not only just JT Sheep Stay Sleep channel and Brother Rob channel. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to them brothers as well, because JT may not even be on one. I love JT channel, but we got to support them brothers too. They don't have as many subscribers as J2, but support them brothers. Cause that, but brother Rob, be having some fire over there, man. And also, it's a movie that y'all need to go see. All y'all, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It was made by Spike Lee in the late '90s. It's called Bamboozle, and it's dealing with the subject of the black face. And that cat Al Johnson, they call him the king of blackface. And I agree with you as well, brother Rob, and you, JT. Both y'all analysis, man. This cat did some good, because he did it according to him. He painted his face in black to show the discrimination and the racism because blacks wasn't in Hollywood then. So he did it as an image. So he claimed to put us in, to see how it was. And not only that, this cat was the number one Hollywood entertainer, Jewish. You know what I'm saying? In blackface. So we have to be very, very careful. I'm saying we have negativity cannot exist without positivity. Is JT. I don't want to big the man up for doing that, but he said he did it to show the racism in Hollywood because black people couldn't get a job. You know what I mean? So he also was instrumental in getting Amos and Andy, the comedian show, on air. So he did do. I gotta tell the bitter with the sweet. You know what I'm saying, JT? But this is a fight, man. On to what Brother Rob said about the projects. That's why they call them projects, JT, because it's a project. It's an experiment in black folks. What they do is they took a they took a they took what he did was he took some rats. He put them in a cage, right, family, and he turned the heat up in the cage a little bit, and he starved them. And what happened? They became killing sprees, and they started practicing cannibalism. So people in the projects, that's what you're saying. People killing each other, and they practicing cannibalism. When I'm not really saying eat, but like they're killed for nothing, man. A black man and a black woman's life to the average black person out here that's suffering from plantation psychosis and black inferiority. It's like killing a cockroach, man. That's why we have no problem. We practice on each other every day. Let's keep it real. So Brother Rob was right about the projects. And when you dealing, that's my lane too, Brother Rob, man. I took that in college, man. Psychology is something that we all must study. You shouldn't have to go to college to do that. Psychology is something that it underlines racism, and it'll tell you the origins of it and where it come from. All that we stink, all that our hairs was a little bit too big. The reason why men got big genitalias and women have big butts is because we had a little bit of horse blood in. I mean, white folks came up with some sick Frankenstein type diabolical theories on us, man. But psychology needs to be studied because they tell on themselves. So but we dealing, like I said earlier, JT, Sheik, and Brother Rob, we dealing with imagery, man. We dealing with imagery. The most positive thing that I heard from you, JT, tonight was you was talking about on how we as black people, right? When we talk about truth, man, you say, hey, I don't got no problem with nobody. If I'm offending somebody, I have no problem with you stepping off, leaving my channel. I'm going to speak on the truth. And Brother Rob, yeah, we on YouTube. White folks need to hear this too. They need to be educated, not just us. We can't be scared. You know what I mean? Like JT said, they're going to have to take me out. Literally, I understand what JT's saying. Nobody wants to die. We already dead. You did? So what we got to lose, man? We already dead. Look at where we at. Everybody coming out communities. They start businesses. We kill each other. We hate on one another. Like Brother Rob said, man, the anger we have against one another, we won't have that towards nobody else. And this is real. The least little thing we do, all the ego tripping, I know more than you, I'm outspeak you. We need to cut that out, man. You know what I mean? If I don't have nothing to say about a black man or a black woman that's positive, I don't say nothing at all. You dig what I'm saying? I'm trying to heal myself, JT. If you ain't trying to heal yourself, man, then you're a parasite to the community. You know what I'm saying? I see what be going on in the chat sometimes. You know what I mean? Little petty stuff. Well, they said this, they said that. That back, we need to cut that out. But I'm a little bit long-winded, and Sheep, I know Sheep trying to get in. I'm passing the mic.
Yeah, she stay asleep.
No doubt, no doubt. And I'm glad you brought up BF Skinner, brother Rob, because before you got on, that's what my whole point behind the whole power of the blackface was. It was about, and like Malik just said, it's about imagery, and when you touched on how subconsciously that have affected our people. Now, if some people don't know, the subconscious, the subconscious mind is is basically tampered with or controlled by imagery, symbolism. So what was Al Jolson trying to symbolize when he put on the blackface? And why do black people see it as something bad? Because from my perspective, that's what the blackface represented, because how he was acting in blackface. He was basically telling white people that this is how niggas act.
Mm-hmm.
And you even see it, like I was saying earlier, you see the blackface cartoon characters, how they act. So this is why, we perceive that as being the way it is because what it symbolized. So like you said, it did very much damage to us because what it symbolized, and that's key. And that's what it's all about. That's how Hollywood is able to have power over us. That's what movies are. Movies are nothing but symbols. They're pictures that mean things, and this is how our subconscious mind is ruled by these people. This is what gave power to marketing. This is what marketing is. This is why they show commercials on TV, on the computer, everywhere you go, because they're bombarding your subconscious mind. This is why we're the top consumers, because we can't see past the billboard. We can't see past the golden arch of McDonald's. We can't see past the Snicker bars because they're bombarding us 24/7. The TV never goes off. At one point, I remember TV used to go off when I was little. TV don't go off now.
Don't go off no more. Yup. Yup.
That shit don't go off. And then the internet, that
That's
shit
right, Chief.
definitely
That's
don't
right.
go off. So
That's right.
we're constantly, our subconscious is constantly being bombarded with these images.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's hard for niggas to stop eating pork. Not because they like eating pork, because every time you see a goddamn burger, it got bacon on it. Every time you see a goddamn pizza, it got pepperoni on it or sausage on it. And they're constantly bombarding our minds with this shit. And you know what? This how I knew that the programming was real. We're all programmed. One day, I was in college. I ain't eat nothing all day. Nothing. I ain't eat shit. Now I'm standing at the bus stop, getting ready, waiting for the bus to go home. It's a store right there on the side. Guess what the fuck I went in the store and bought to munch on? A goddamn Snicker bar. And it hit me. The shit played in my mind. Grab a Snickers. Why wait? I
Mm-hmm.
said, oh shit. These motherfuckers got me. I'm programmed too.
Yup.
Nigga, you went and got a Snickers bar while you waited for the bus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That shows that this shit is on autopilot. It's on autopilot. And this is why now you see niggas on Facebook doing all of these little silly ass skits, embarrassing themselves. You got grown men dressed up like women, twerking, and these people is getting millions of views though. Because our subconscious has been bombarded so much with this stuff that now it's become normal. And this
Right.
is how they're able to constantly make money off of it. So psychology is the integral part to them ruling us. Like Malik said, white supremacy don't exist. You know why it don't exist? Because they made us believe it exists. They're not supremer than us. You see what I'm saying? But they made us believe that because of what? They rule every aspect in our life. This is why we believed it and bought into it. So the number one thing we need to focus on here is the psychology, is the imagery, is the symbolism, because that's why Hollywood is able to stay in business. This is why these people are able to stay on top, because we believe and buy into everything that they show us. And if we was able to start to believe in us and want to see our images and want to pay to watch our shit, then we can be able to change the way we look at ourselves. This is why, like you said, bro, we need to be in the entertainment industry. But there need to be more Tyler Perrys. There need to
Hey,
be more black producers. Not the fact that he's just, him being Medea and acting like a woman, but the fact that this man is a owner. He owns his own filming studios. We need more of those to push out a certain type of image. We need that. You see what I'm saying? We need that for ourselves because we need to push the positive imagery of us out to the world. Because we'll keep believing everything that these people put out. And that's why the world look at black people the way they do. Because they watch the same shit we watch. So that's the most integral part, man. The perception that was put out there by this whole blackface thing. What did it do to people? How did it play on the psyche of the people? The psyche on the people, it fucked everybody up because it showed black people in a negative light and it made white people believe that this is how niggas act. This is why they like the folios that you see now today. This is why they love young thugs of the world. This is why they love them type of dudes. A man dressed up in a goddamn church dress with a gun. They love to see shit like that. They're entertained by that image. They're like, oh wow, these niggas are great. Wow, this is great. They love it.
right.
And it started from that whole blackface shit. And him characterizing us in a certain light.
Yeah. Yeah, imagery. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was talking about that too. You know, like years ago. And there was a lot of people was like, yeah, what is you talking about? And this and that. I said, just look what's going on. And it's sad. It really is that I could tell you one time, brothers, that I said I was programmed. I was 11. And people say, how you can remember? Because that's how I remember Jolson. It was one time that I was going to the store and I have a chance to get me some salad. I had a taste with some salad. And all of a sudden I decided to taste for some. My father, you want a turkey burger? Nah, I don't want no turkey burger. And I end up eating some candy. Knowing that's gonna make me more hungry, but I said, damn program, and it bothered me for a minute. And Father, you want to eat candy instead of, food? Okay, that's what you're going to eat. This is you're going to eat the rest of the night. And I learned my lesson, and I was like, man, I'm caught up. I caught, old people back then when I was coming, they had them sayings, brother, I'm saying, man, I got caught in the scissors. I got caught in that sauce, man. I can't get out. And that's when I started really, really understand the propaganda that has a major impact in our community. And I see other people, they just like they go through and they don't understand, they're part of this propaganda. And it's like we walking in robots. We robotic. We walk in this mistress mindset robotic. And it's sad and it's scary. Brother Rob, touch into that, please. Of the educational aspect, please.
Well, yeah, no doubt. It's a man. I mean, let me just start by saying, right? We clearly understand. I believe we know what the problem is. The problem is we don't really control the parts where it's power, right? I meant from an educational aspect, right? I use this analogy, right? What equals force? What produces force? Mass times acceleration. That's what produces force, right? So we have to move in a mass. That's where the mass come from. We got to be together. You know what I'm saying? We got to be together. And the acceleration will come from us doing that our little bit every day, educating yourself a little bit more. So you'll have a more pointed view. So you'll have somewhere to point your passion, you know, uh, 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 be more active in your community. And in doing so, I'm not telling you to do this just because, but you will find ways to enrich yourself if you would only be a little more active in your community, because all knowledge is transferable, right? You don't know that it might be somebody down the street that can multiply your business. But because you don't take the action to at least walk down the street to say, hey, how you doing? What you into, just start a conversation with your neighbor. I'm talking about basics. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we get a little too highfalutin with our explanations to the solution. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about basics. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, the analogy one more time, right? Accelerate. We got to accelerate to what? Our progression. Our progression. See, the only reason we oppressed is because we not progressing. We surviving. You see? We surviving. That's what we known for. Black folks is known to survive. And so we thrive in that thinking. So once we switch from survive to strive, you know what I'm saying? Then that's when the acceleration comes. And then we'll become a force. You know what I'm saying? So that, man, that's a live story right there. I might do that. You know what I'm saying? But what equals force? What equals force? First, our mass. We got to move in mass. I say it all the time. To me, the foundational block to what we should be thinking on, right? Man, cultural identity. You see? It's real easy. Like what we thinking, what we saying, and what we doing. Those three things are not in line. I.e., Phil the Advisory Show. I.e., Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? From any level. You see what I'm saying? If what you thinking and what you doing and what you saying, if they don't line up, you're going to end up on a Haven Bullets video. That's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's no secret to it, right? So we just got to get what we thinking, what we saying, and what we doing in line, so that we won't become victim to the next Al Jolson. So we won't become victim to the next media ploy. We so reactionary. You know what I'm saying? We just got to take a little action. You know what I'm saying? Start by, hey, finding out who is your neighbor? Who are these people that live on your block? How many kids they got? What's their name? They go to the neighborhood school, yeah? Man, what, how good is the school? Is it all right? You see what I'm saying? That's where it starts. Because look, right? Ain't nobody gonna buy no house around you if the school ain't good. Make the school good and your property value go up. Brother Rob just put a feather in your goddamn hat. I just added $10,000 to the value of your house.
Yeah.
Yo, man, just put some pressure on the politician to make the school better, and you will make $10,000 on your house next year. I fall back right. But look, it's value in fighting for our people. I'm talking about not only will you feel better about yourself, but you're gonna feel better about the people around you. And you're gonna make some money in the process.
Right.
Man. To me, it's a win-win-win.
Yes, it's a no-win. We all win.
Exactly, bro.
All win.
I don't know how else to explain it, brother. But I'll fall back on this, right? What we thinking and what we saying. All three of them, if they fall in line, oh man, look out, bro. Look out. There go our force right there. Mass times acceleration.
You go more on your point. I want your brothers to talk. I'm trying to get some sisters on, and I don't understand why it's not getting. But I'm trying, Party Council. Just stand by. Just keep on looking. Stand by. That to me, I'm with you, brother. Rob. Everybody win. Why you don't want to work with our people? Why we can't work with each other and get this out. And get this word out and make sure improve on our economics, improve on the life of living, a quality of life in our community. And that the good thing about it, we making money and we improving, we improving our economics. Because we have examples in the in the past, like the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You got Rosewood in Florida. Even I did a 2-part series of Weeksville, Brooklyn, a little over a year ago. I want you to go back, check it out. I did Weeksville, Brooklyn, part 1 and 2. If y'all have any mods that have had a computer, if y'all can go way back and pull up Weeksville, Brooklyn, part 1 and 2, would be greatly appreciated. You could post it in the chat and everything. If not, we could do it another time. But if y'all could look for it for me right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. But see, we have examples right here, and everything what we saying so far, family, in the chat and even outside, outside, everything does connect it. We had to get back on this cultural code. We had to learn from certain things that happened with Al Jolson and the mindset and the showbiz and the political and the emotional part, and how they tell certain lies about he created jazz and blues, and that's a lie. He benefit from it because the economics was there, but a lot of us has create popular music. But after he took up this black face, he started helping out and everything, like Brother Rob was saying.
But and then there was other people that he helped some of our people too. So we had to acknowledge that. But the lasting effect of our people is still there, and we have to understand that. Malik, anything you want to
Yes,
say?
sir.
Anything you want to
Yeah,
say?
no, I just want. Well, I want to stay on topic. There was some good talk y'all was having. I'm sitting back enjoying this, man. I mean, it's always a blessing when black folks around, as I keep saying, man, and we talking some sense, we talking knowledge and power. That's a good thing. And like always, I have to make a disclaimer too, JT, man. Personally, me, I deal with just as many white folks as black folks, man. In the film industry, I deal with more of them than us. God believe me. But let me tell you though, JT, man, I don't have a black speech and I don't have a white speech, man. I just speak the truth. You dig? And so, a lot of us, that's what we have to live by. You have to live by your word, man. And I see all other ethnicities. I see the Dominicans, I big them up. The Chinese, big up to them. The Koreans, big up to them. The Thailands, big up. The Arabs, all of them. I big them up, because they understand the power of a dollar and economics and working with one another. And all we need to do is just take a page out of their book, brother. The answers is right in front of us. We are our worst enemies. I don't care what nobody, bro. How you gonna say that, man? And you're a brother. Hey, man, I'm saying it because the worst type of education is the tough. We is us, man. We got the power. You heard what Brother Rob or Sheep Stay Sleep say. We the biggest consumers, man. We had the finances. And what I'm about to say, it brings tears in my eyes, JT, because I was born, in a black hospital, Norfolk General Hospital in Virginia. And my father said, after segregation, we lost our businesses, everything that came with a dollar bill. That was the worst mistake we made. I ain't worried about white folks listening, because if they know history and they study African American history, then they understand it has nothing to do with me being racist. I'm a realist. And that's what Jesus was. That's why they had to kill Jesus. That's why they had to kill Martin Luther King. That's why they had to kill Malcolm, because truth hurts, brother. You know what I'm saying? We lost all that. We was fine on our own when it was segregated. When we had our own communities, our own businesses, they were black. You don't have to believe me, brothers and sisters in the chat. Google it. I tell people, do not believe a thing that I say. Research it. And then let's come back at the table and discuss it. And let's talk about it. Because that's something that, as you can see, Brother Rob, Chief Stay Sleep, myself, and JT, we do. We study. I don't want nobody to take my word, man, because you said something in that Coke video, man. People always is accepting somebody as a savior, man, and at the end of the day, that's a human being. And people look at these cult leaders as though they can't make no mistakes, and they'll look. And these brothers, you can't get caught up in egos. You can't get caught up in somebody's identity, because once they fall, the Black Panther Party, the same thing. Huey P. Newton, all these leaders fell, man, and everybody got on drugs. Not everybody, but a lot of them got on drugs and went crazy and whatnot. Because what? You hero worshiping. But there's not going to be a savior out here. There's not going to be one person, this God-like individual that's heroic is going to save the black community. It's going to be collective. Them days are over with, man. But we have the money, brother. We have the money. We just need to stop the foolishness, stop the cooning, the buffoonery. You know what I mean? The sambo talking, the backbiting. We a lot of this stuff is us, man. It's like this Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? One sister got mad because I wouldn't go on march. I said I refuse to go on Black Lives Matter. It's not because of who started it, because I go all into that, George Soros and all these billionaires and whatnot. It's a good thing to an extent. However, it represents hypocrisy if I march with them. Well, explain yourself, brother. Okay. Anytime a cop do it or somebody that don't look like us that do it, we want to go on march. We practice on each other every day. But when we start doing it, when we start killing each other and we start marching on us, then everybody else will stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? We the root, man. We the root. I'm not justifying the police killings. All that is wrong, man. You know what I'm saying? But I found it to be hypocrisy, and we jump the gun. We ready to get, to destroy something, man, over somebody else that don't look like you that do it, but you do it every day, 4, 5 times more than they do it. So if we're gonna go ahead and practice Black Lives Matter, let's do it when we do it too. I have no problem with that. So I went to their headquarters, and the lady told me, she said, that's not how this movement was started, though. It was started because unjustified police killings, and I understand that too, and racism. But what about y'all? And that's the feminists, and that's why I had an issue with them down there. They helped start this movement. Y'all don't want to march when we do it, though. What's the problem with that? It's okay for us to do it, but it ain't all right for y'all to do it. So, it's a bunch of foolishness, man, and political stuff going on. But yeah, imagery, man. And I don't want to get off this, and I want to also, before I forget, JT and panel, I want to talk about this imagery again. Back to the topic. I don't want to forget that cat Flip Wilson when he was playing that old thing dressed up, Lady
Geraldine.
Geraldine. Yeah,
Geraldine.
destroying the black woman's energy. And he also that old pastor Leroy he used to play. The attack was on the black church. That's the most strongest institution we had in our community. What came out of the black churches? The Black Panther Party, the Civil Rights Movement. What else came out of there? Black colleges. See, when we start going in history, because Malcolm said history is the best research and reward in all our research is history, man. His story. And see, your enemy, his story. He can make it his story. But you can also change that to your story. You dig what I'm saying? And make it righteous, man. That's what Malcolm was talking about, brother. You dig what I'm saying? But that chump, and then when the white folks got finished with his behind for berating black woman and berating the black church, they said we ain't had nothing else for you to do, nigga. And he died. You know what I'm saying? So all of these people, man, that's selling us out, everything's come back in full circle, man. And that's why I say, because when you
Okay.
say stuff out of your mouth, out and they gonna dig, but I'm going in. All right, let me pass the mic, Jay. I heard you. Sheep stay sleep. Go ahead, man. Because I'm going along. But that's not me. I don't need my ego to be stroked or nothing.
No, it's all right. No, it's all because see, before I get to you, she stay sleep. That the truth is gonna make you speak up. You hear what I'm saying? If you
100.
if you incline with how you feel, you hear what I'm saying? If you sure it yourself, the truth is gonna come out. Sometimes the truth you gotta flows, brother. I flows with mine. Y'all know I do.
Now, but but JT, you know me, man. Me personally, I don't want to be rude. We have some brothers. I want to see sheep stay sleep, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, of
brother
course,
Rob.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I'm gonna pass the mic.
All right. Cool. All right. Thanks, Hazel Reptile. Thanks for looking out. Let's get them likes up, please. Thank you. She stay sleep. Or maybe you didn't. Okay, brother Rob.
Yeah, I look at this as a complex issue. One more time, just to reiterate, and so because it's a complex, need complex solution to walk and chew gum at the same time. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And it's important that everybody play their role. See, uh, I had did a stream back a little while ago talking about people playing their role. Like, man, Joe, you can't get mad because this dude is the conductor and you the trombone. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a role to play. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's one of the problems. Like, people want to be everybody want to be a boss. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not realistic. You know, I feel like everybody should go after wherever they passion and talent kind of meet. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, you know, that's where I think you would produce your best work. You know, well, that is just the advice that I think is wise that I give my students, um, and I feel comfortable in saying that, right? But um, we got to get back to loving ourselves and loving our story. If you don't know your story, you can't know your glory. You know what I mean? So it's easy. It's easy for somebody to reclassify somebody like a hero, like Dr. Martin Luther King, and then hear people every year, I have to defend his legacy. They talking about he was a coon, and they ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? This man gave
Right.
his life and forsaked his family. And then, 50, 60 years later, hear people talking about he was a coon. You know what I'm saying? It's disgraceful. So that's why I try to get back to basics. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn how to have a sense of dignity and carry ourselves with a sense of dignity. When you look at our ancestors from Oklahoma out there, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, you see how they was dressed. Our ancestors from Harlem during the Harlem Renaissance. You see how they was dressed. They might have not had nothing, but when it was time to get into a photo, you see them all. Even if the suit is dirty, they got the suit on. You know what I'm saying? Because they never lost a sense of dignity. we I feel like we done lost a sense of dignity among ourselves. The shorties are comfortable cussing in front of our elders. Hey, I mean, you go if your shorty cussing in front of me, hey, I'm telling you now, I'm telling y'all right now, anybody listening, if you in Chicago and your shorty, he underage and he cussing in front of me, I'm gonna give him one chance. Watch your mouth. I'm gonna say a grown man that watch your mouth. And
Mhm.
everybody know when I say it, like, man, on the real, Joe. You know what I'm saying? That's is to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially our elders, they wearing their crown, they got their silver on. You know what I'm saying? All great. You know what I'm saying? They still getting around, got them wits among themselves. And here I shorties walking around playing them goofy ass songs. Wah wah wah, bitch! I'm a you know what I'm saying? I'm a baby. You know what I'm saying? That shit is so goofy. And you got headphones in your ear playing it loud as hell in front of our elders. It's just so man, it make my blood boil sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I got patience with them. I understand they might have not been taught right at home and all of that. But back to basics, bro. Man, we got to get a sense of dignity and that image alone. Don't worry about what everybody else think and doing. Just carry yourself, and that's the way I try to do myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't suggesting nobody be like me, but I'm just saying, no matter what, carry that sense of dignity so the shorties can see it, man. And we need to do it more often. You know what I'm saying? More boldly. You know what I'm saying? Uh, that'd be my take on the subject, man. The power of image.
Okay. All right. She stay asleep.
What we closing out, bro?
No, no, not yet. Poetic Kel said she trying to get on, so I'm gonna get let her say her last remarks. I mean last thing, then I'm gonna close it out. So
Oh,
yeah.
I well, as far as image is concerned, that's definitely important, because that goes back to what me and brother Rob was talking about earlier. Um, the way that all ties into um politics and how they create certain laws and shit like that. Like it really goes that deep because the way the black man's image is perceived in society is what gets these criminals off from killing our young men. That's why we have to really watch how we present ourselves even on social media. Because look what they used in the Trayvon case. They tried to say he was a gang member because they found a picture of him throwing some shit up with his hands. So we have to watch our image because image ties into perception, and it almost, they was trying to say, like, how could we not believe that this dude didn't attack this man when, he's a gang member?
Right.
They use all of those things. They use the pants hanging off our ass and all of that. They tie that into gang culture. So a cop could say, yeah, I was scared. He's a gang member. He had his pants hanging down. He had on all red, and you know, that's all imagery. This is how they create stereotypes, you know, and that's what all that ties into racial profiling, all that type of shit. But how often do you see a guy get pulled over in the suit? This is how uh, a guy could walk in the bank and rob the goddamn bank with a suit on and a briefcase and walk right out, and you won't know what just happened
Mhm.
because he doesn't fit the image of a criminal. You see, and this is why imagery is one of the most important things at the end of the day.
Mhm.
You know, imagery is our image. The way we are seen in society is what is one of the main reasons why black men and women are demonized the way they are. This is also how, like I said, how Hollywood continues to make money. Because what do you think the reality shows is based off of? It's all based off of our image.
Right.
The way the black woman is perceived, the way she acting. She's ratchet. Look at all of the ratchet women that was on these reality shows. They're flourishing now. Cardi B is one of the biggest artists in the world right now.
Mhm.
But she was one of the most ratchet chicks on Love and Hip Hop. In Love and Hip Hop history. You see? And she's being rewarded for this. And you know why they reward that shit? Not to say she didn't work hard. I'm not going to take away from her work ethic. But the reason why she's rewarded this way, because they want the next generation and the next 20 generations of young black women, they want to grow up and be Cardi B and act like Cardi and get on these shows and act a damn fool. Because if I do this, I can make money. This is why they make sure these people are seen in a certain light. This is why you see them with the paparazzi around them. This is why you see them hopping out the cars and all that type of shit. Because they want the youth to say, I got to do this to get on. This is what I need to do. But they don't know, okay, you getting a bag, but what is this doing? What message are you sending out? See, that's not thought about. And they know we not going to think about it because we poor and fucked up in the hood. And we desperate because we want to move our mothers out of there. We want to move our fathers out of there. Our kids, our friends. This is why they know we need to pick her. You notice she took Nicki Minaj's spot, but they done with Nicki. Nicki served her purpose. She made all the young girls be ratchet Barbies. See? Then you have what? Now you got Cardi B. After Cardi B, it'll be somebody else. And it'll be somebody else. And it'll be somebody else. All that ties back to our image. Because if we had discipline and we conducted ourselves a certain way, they wouldn't be interested in showing this type of behavior or this image of us on TV because it's not profitable. It's not profitable. And if they're gonna make money off of it, they're going to present it in a different way where we're going to be seen in a higher light. You see? And Hollywood don't make too much money off of that. You see? One of Denzel's biggest movies is what? Training Day. Why? Because of his image. He played a dirty cop. And niggas love to see shit like that. Why? Because it takes us back to what? Where we come from, our neighborhood. We grew up around crooked cops. So we That's why we gravitate to it. See, that's why I go back and said, see, these Jews are very strategic.
Mm-hmm.
They know what to put out there. They know. And that all ties back to our image.
Uh-huh.
This is why the Nation of Islam is very important. Why? Because they are focusing on what? Cleaning up the image of the black man and the black woman. If our images were cleaned up as black men and black women, they wouldn't be able to continue to profit off of it. So that's all I gotta say about that.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot. What I'm going to do, brothers, I want y'all to stand there, make your last remarks, and I'm going to close this out. Boy, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read out the names, everybody quickly. Then you'll make your short remarks, last remarks, and I'm going to make my remarks. I'm closing this out. Okay, Party Cal, trying to get you on, but thank you so much. Okay, Archie, I was still looking for the your email, but next time you can get back on. But thanks for your contributions. Muhammad is the one. Thanks for coming, LDBC. Thank you. Latasha Moore. Thanks for coming. Come back. Very much appreciated. Let me read it. She said, yes, man, make sure that the Voodoo Treasure of Black Jamaican castor oil that comes on the island is that one of the most concentrated, of my opinion. Yeah. Jay Sean Random, thanks for coming, brother. Very much appreciate in your contributions. Terry Martinez, GSG family, thanks for coming, Queen. Come back, CRU, you know what's up. Thanks for coming, brother, as always. Nikki, thanks for coming. Very much appreciated. Puerto Kells, as always. Hazel Reptile fam, thanks for coming. And thanks for looking up. Let's get them likes up. Very much appreciated. Come back. Latasha Moore, how you doing again? Oh, no. See. Clarence Ray, thanks for coming. Yeah, check that out. I don't know why they stopped because you making videos. That's what it's there. You make videos. So you fight that, brother. But thanks for coming, brother. You keep up the good work, all right? Keep it up. Clarence Ray. Support the brother, all right? Got some great information. You got a backup channel, Clarence Ray. Clarence Ray, if you hear my voice again, put your backup channel in the chat, but do not use no SUB. Put support back, or I got you, all right? So before I close out, put your backup channel in it so people can have that too. Very much appreciated. Yeah, hit the like button, family. Terry Martinez, GSG family, thanks for coming. Sister Queen, come back. Let me see. Malik Omar, get to you in a few. See how you already got you. Oh shoot. No. Clarence Ray, it's my fault. It's the phone. So don't worry about that. It's my phone. It messed up. So Clarence Ray, but I'm saying before I call the Clarence Ray, I want you to put your backup channel. Life Machine Power, shout out to you. She Stacy, I'll hit you up in a few. Information Man, shout out to you. And That is it. But Clarence Ray, if you want to put your back up chat, do it quickly before I closed out so people can copy it down. This is how we're going to do. Brother Rob, Malik, did she stay asleep? Your last remarks, please, and I will close this out.
Yo, well, I go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on the channel tonight, and um, this is a very complex discussion that we need to have. Maybe we should come back to it and focus on one character at a time. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of break it all the way down. I had seen somebody put Amari Baraka in the chat. I think that was CRU. And so Amari Baraka plays a major role in the 70s with the Black Power movement. Rarely is discussed. You know what I'm saying? But with that, I say, if you want a more in-depth discussion on the power of images, I would say look at Dr. Anthony Browder's work on the power of images. A little while ago, this some years back, he did some work on movies and dissecting movies. So I would say definitely take a look at Dr. Anthony Browder's work. But with that, I say, again, JT, thank you for having me. Underrated Darkness. I just look for this channel to continue to grow. Um, all of the brothers I feel like that you have on, we speak our mind. We try to be as honest and as truthful and as impactful as possible. So I appreciate you having me, family, and much success to you.
Thank you. And go more. We definitely got to talk about the imagery, and that's where I'm going to chime in. I think it's going to look like it's going to be like a series. So I'm definitely going to hit you up, Brother Rob, and other ones and sisters. Again, if you wanted to, please, I want the sisters to join the panel too, and so we get more input. So we definitely going to chime into that in the near future. Definitely. That's what I'm thinking about anyway, the middle of the live. Definitely get into depth to this because Al Jolson just a start. Just a start. That's all it is. But I'm definitely going to get into about that. Excellent point, brother. Malik Omar,
Yes, sir.
LDBC. Last remarks, please.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the LDBC, by the way, and JT. I'm gonna keep it short, man. For allowing panel. You know what I mean? Your channel is gonna keep growing and organically keeping it real, man. And imagery is something that we all have to deal with and fight every day. Like Brother Rob said earlier, every time I look in the mirror, Brother Rob, I'm fighting that nigga in me. I know it's there, brother. It's like the Incredible Hulk. You know what I mean? Like Bruce Banner, who can't get angry. You dig? And so you got to fight it. And it's critical that we all, this is something that I do, look at any mistake I may have made that day and I learn from it. And I say, I'm not going to do that no more. You understand?
Right.
So
Right.
we have to, man. I mean, it's every day. You got to try to be a better person by all means, sisters and brothers.
Right.
Also, I want to also say that Brother Rob is right. I don't know if somebody said something alluded to it, but anybody that thought they think Martin Luther King was a chump, man, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because King had a record longer than mine, Brother Rob's, yours, JT, and Chief Stay Sleeps times 100. The man put his life. The man is dead. You know what I mean? And so I wish he was alive to see our condition now, prior to immigrations, because I'm quite sure. Because he made a statement before he got killed. He said that I don't know if I'm taking my people into a burning house with this immigration, and I wish he was alive, man, to see the state that we in. But I challenge anybody that's in the chat, not challenge like I want to debate you, but I want you to do your research and research the imagery of black folks like Chief Stay Sleep said in them pictures, man. We was immaculate. That's right, brother Chief Stay Sleep. We ain't have our pants hanging off. Huh? Sister Love ain't sure her butt crack. Huh? She ain't had no tight pants on showing her print. She gifted already, man. A black woman could put on and look presentable, man, and professional, and you still see the shape she stay sleep. So you was immaculate. That brother, right? Look at some of them pictures. So I challenge people to do their research, man. This nigga type of dressing, man, is new. That's new age. And I also want to invite some people, to some documentaries that are up to date. Um, Check them out. It's dealing with imagery. Also check out the what Brother Rob said. But what is it called? Man, Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Check them documentaries out, and all the brothers on each panel, the historians from Dr. Umar Johnson to Dr. Phil Valentine, Booker T. Coleman, all of them goes into the imagery on what you see now. That nigga, this was created, and so we got to uncreate that and learn from this, man, and teach our children's children, because this is it. If we want to go ahead and destroy this generation of curse now, we can do it. Like I said before, JT, man, God, man, and if we stop ego tripping, man, if we stop, they the only people, JT, and I'm gonna leave with this, man, that fight with one another. We want to outshine. I don't understand it, man. It's a disease, man. You know, I've been on. I'm on a couple of channels, man. I heard so. You got a lot of black parasites, man. I mean, just because you could put on a dashiki and you got dreads in your hair and you're natural, that means nothing, man. I'm looking at your deeds because they sell dashikis at Kmart and Walmart. You aware of that? So, JT, I'm going to leave with this, man. It's all about healing and building, peace, love, and harmony. And when you go to sleep tonight after you say your prayers, if I'm offending you and you don't believe in God, meditation, or, you know what I mean, or what you're into, try not to go into bed and go to sleep angry. Try to forget that person. You know what I mean? Because oftentimes the person you don't forgive, they look like you. I can understand that they violate you or your family, something like that. I get that. There are some exceptions to the rules. But, go to sleep tonight with a light heart. And JT, man, hopefully next time, man, that you can have some yin and yang on the because I want some of these sisters, man, all dudes.
I'm trying to get the sisters on. Seem like it's
You
not
know what I'm
working.
saying?
I don't know what's going on. What I might have to do is, like, before I start, I might have to get the sisters on and just stay there. Don't leave. I might do that. I'm trying to get the sisters on. I'm trying.
All right, sheep's like fam. God bless y'all.
All right, peace. She stays asleep. Last remarks, please, brother.
I want to shout out everybody. Shout out to my brothers on the panel. Uh, I definitely appreciate building with you good brothers. You know, I love the fact that we could bounce off of each other with ideas, and I just like the healthy conversation, man. It's no egos involved. There's no, us trying to, you know, um outright each other like, oh, I'm righter than you, and I know more than you, and it's just total. It's basically a constructive discussion, which I can always appreciate. So shout out to y'all brothers for that, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat who listened, who stayed the whole time and listened, and who just came by and showed their support. So I appreciate all the love and the support, man. Y'all can find me at Sheep Stay Sleep TV. And let's keep doing what we could do, man. Let's all play our part. Like Brother Rob said, it's about roles. And if we all know our role and play it, we'll be good. So peace and love to everybody.
Right there. I want to thank each brother. I'm gonna work on that. Um, let's learn from one thing about Al Jolson. He did some good things about it. But the point that we need to, I'm driving home tonight. Let's understand that a propaganda decades. And a lot of us, a lot of talent was out there. And they did not economic and political assistance back then because that's all they knew and everything because they, you know, they gotta support their family. So I'm not gonna jump on that. But now we talking about he died in 1950, right? So that's over 60 years. And I present you Al Jolson. So that part of that ugliness towards of our history we can learn about. And let's understand that we have to learn from this. Like I said before, and I'm going to re-emphasize this, we still got this mistress mindset that we have to, in this the mistress mindset, savage mindset, that we had to get rid of. We have to understand that the brothers and sisters, even back then, was famous or not so famous, had paid the way. And we still got to fight for their memory. We got to fight for their legacy. Because sadly, they had not been noticed. And we got to keep their memory going. We got to keep their legacy going. So brothers and sisters throughout humanity, but I'm talking about our people. If we want to have respect, we got to change up our industry. And I'm going to talk more about that in the future. Don't know when, but we got to talk about that. So, on behalf of Malik Omar, Brother Rob, the educator of our community, Sheet Stay Sleep, and the rest of the chat, thanks for everything. Thank you so much to participate. All I'm just doing is bringing you the truth. Just trying to impact somebody's life. That's all I'm doing. I'm a messenger for our community. And I'm going to keep on fighting for our community no matter what. So y'all have a good night and thanks again. This has been a success and we found solutions. And each brother talk about solutions tonight. Take advantage of the jewels that we are giving out. Even jewels that is in the chat. Let's take advantage of it. Of that note, Ghost.